So recording is available for the session. Yes, of course, the recording will be available. It's only for the 1 day. Yes, it's only for the 3 hours. What's the payment method? I don't know. Hello, sir. What's the task do we need complete today for Flipkart Cone? We'll discuss, Viraj, about this. Sir, I have joined the course, but I have not attempted any final evaluation. Varun can take these questions, Shreya. Okay, so I think Varun can personally message you when you will share the code. I will share the code in the end of the session. You will get a GitHub and also you'll get a hosted link. Okay. Recording started, Shrey. Um, is it fully responsive? So we'll not focus more on CSS. We'll more focus on React. Okay. So as I said, we will mostly focusing on React concepts, not on mostly core CSS concepts. Okay. Getting Ganesh? So we'll try to make it as responsive as it will be, but we'll be focusing more on the core React concepts. Okay. I mean, I'm new to React. Will it work? Yes, yeah, it will work. Is deployment included in this workshop? Deployment works on Firebase. So we will be deploying on Firebase. Okay. So if you take any extra class, please have them in weekends. Okay. Is compulsory to download the Node.js? Yes, it is, because React runs on Node.js. But later this much difficult to respond. Okay, so now let's start the session, guys. I'll take a question one by one. Okay, do you have covered backend? No, I think the backend series is already going on. I don't know, but this session is only about front end. We cover only React, basic React. Okay, so this is like 3 hour session in which we'll cover only basic React. Fine. Do we need any prior knowledge to learn React.js? Yes, you need at least HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Try to make responsive also. Sure, Ganesh, we'll do it. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's start the session. Let me introduce myself. Hope you guys are able to see the screen, and let me pull up my LinkedIn because I don't have a personal portfolio. Sir, इस session के बाद हमको certificate मिलेगा क्या? I don't know, Viraj. You should ask Varun. I don't think so कि मिलेगा. ना 3 घंटे देखने का सर्टिफिकेट क्यों चाहिए तुमको यार? किस काम का है? Can we get code also? Yes, you will get the code, Himanshu. Okay. ठीक है. So my name is Utkarsh Gupta. I am a senior software engineer at Sony Live. So I've recently joined Sony 2-3 months back. 3 महीने की salary आ गई है, तो I guess I've joined 3 months back. I have already worked with multiple brands. I worked with housing.com. I worked with Find, Hashed In by Deloitte, and eClerks, and officially. So I worked with around 5 companies so far in 3 years of experience. So I have 3 years of experience, and I worked around 4 or 5 companies. 4 years of experience in total, including the internship. So I worked with as I'm working right now as a senior software engineer, leading somewhere around 77 people of team. यहाँ पे 5 लिखा है, 2 बार बाद में join हो चुके हैं. So I'm building right now Sony Live. So that Sony Live you see on the smart TV, right? So I'm building that. That's completely in React.js. Avinash, if you have questions, please put on the chat. Okay, so I'm building Sony Live. I'm leading the team of 6-7 developers where we will daily struggle to code, to optimize, and we are basically building Sony Live from scratch again. Okay. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm optimizing or creating Sony Live again from scratch with my team in Sony. Okay, based in Gurgaon, but I work from home. I'm working from home since 4 years, so that helps me to do all these workshops. I am also instructor at multiple schools, not just at Cuvette. I am doing, I'm being an instructor, giving lectures at multiple schools. Also, I work with housing.com. I worked there for around 1.5 years as a React developer. I created I was a part of the housing website, and also I was also part of the seller portal where seller can come and put their listing. Okay. So yeah, you guys can read about it. I've mentioned everything, the tech stack that I worked with, and even a small thing that I've did. It is mentioned all my achievements and the things that I've received from my colleagues. As I said, instructor at multiple schools. I started a little bit of entrepreneurship. It didn't work out, but I'm still struggling in that. But yeah, I did a little bit of entrepreneurship in that also. uh, I created a product and tried to launch it, but due to some reason I stopped it. You can also go through it. I was a software engineer at Find, worked for 4 months, 6 months, and left Find. Okay. It was a Mumbai based company. I hope you know it. If you don't, it's acquired by Reliance. And yeah, I worked as a React developer there also. Hasdin, I worked as a React developer. I was working as a complete React developer. React Native also I was doing, and also doing the React JS. I worked there for 8 months. And this was my first company, eClerks, where I was worked around 2 years, 1 year of internship, and 1 year of like 6, I think 8 months of full-time role that I was there working. Started my React journey from there itself. So yeah, you guys can go through it. It's just a 2 months of internship that I did in my college period, so it does not count, I guess. So yeah, so this is my journey so far, and here I am with you guys. I have at least 171 plus students training, and I'm training since 1.5 year now. I've trained somewhere around 4,000 plus students. Yeah, that's all about me for now. I hope you guys have liked it. This is a journey of 4 years, trained 4,000 plus students. You guys are exceeding that 4,000 number. So thank you for that also. Today, this session, let's come on the session today. So today's session is about what do we say? Flipkart clone. So today's workshop is about Flipkart clone, where we will be building Flipkart kind of website. Okay, we will be building this homepage, not the entire thing, but yeah, the header part, the categories part, the slider. Okay, even this slider with the product, we will fetch the API. Okay, we'll call an API. API is basically we'll call a server, get the products from there, and we will show the products like this only. Okay, we'll also have a carousel here, and yeah, we'll also have a second row, and then we can have there was one more section here. I don't think so. I think that removed today. Okay, so there's one more section here which comes like uh, for banking, and one for the banners, for the promotional banners. So that also we'll do. So they will create this Flipkart page. Okay, and once we are done with that, we can move forward for the next step, where we will be calling the API to fetch a particular product data. Okay, the product will be different, of course, because I have my own other source of API, not the Flipkart API. I don't work for the Flipkart. So yeah, we will be building a detail page of a product. Okay, so when you click on a product, we will be getting this type of page. Okay, so we will try to create this as well. If we will be able to do it in 3 hours, it should be done. That's what I think. Okay, so we'll build a basic layout of this particular page also, where the header is also included. And yeah, this particular section will be there. The two buttons will be there, add to cart and buy now. Okay, and then if we will be able to complete that too in these 3 hours, we can move ahead to add to cart functionality, where you will be adding to the cart. Okay, you will be able to see your cart. Okay, so this cart page will also be there, where you will be adding your products from the product page, and you will be able to see here. Okay, that's what journey look like for today's lecture. I hope you will like it. I hope you have liked it. Dashboard. Dashboard. What means dashboard? We'll be doing this only, Ganesh. These 3 pages: the home page, the particular uh, product page, and the cart page. So please, payment system. That will not be I think feasible in this 3 hours, Robin, because we are starting from scratch. Okay, maybe in the next session we'll do that, but not in this session. Okay. Deeply. Sure. I'll try to take you deeply as further we can. Sir, how could we get the best out of today's session? Like, should we also write the code side by side with you, or just understand the concept later on, refer the code? I would rather prefer कि first watch the session. Okay, you can write it along with me if you can. You can open the code sandbox and write it along with me. थोड़ा बहुत you can write it. Okay, but I would rather prefer you guys can watch me and be interactive as much as you can. And after the session, you will create by yourself. Try to create same thing on your own. And when you stuck, Okay, when you, let's say you are creating a header, okay, on your own, and you stuck that I'm not able to do it, watch that particular session of this recording. Okay, Om, make sense? Om, make sense? Admin dashboard to view customer detail. No, Arpita, that will not be the part of this session. 3 घंटे हैं यार, कितना बनाएंगे अर्पिता? You need to learn also, right? You can take next workshop for the same clone in backend. No, I'll not take the backend because I'm not a backend developer. As you saw my profile, I'm a complete React developer. So it has been around 4 years. I'm coding in React completely and training in React, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. That's what I'm doing. So I'll not be taking backend workshop. Somebody else will take. But yeah, I'll be completely for front end. Can you give another session with backend, Manoj? I hope you answer. I hope I answered your question. Are we going to get the recording? Yes. Let's start. We can finish as much as possible. Which is popular? Full stack in present industry, React and Node.js and Java. There's so many technologies going on. We'll not take these questions. Manoj, React, Node.js, like MERN stack, and Java. Okay, then the backend comes. So the MERN stack is like on every startup wants for now. Okay, let's start the session, guys. Okay. You guys can go through my profile as well if you want. Let me give it to you. Nobody have asked it, but that's fine. Strange. Are we going to deploy today? Yes, we are going to deploy today on Firebase. Which is better? Java full stack, MERN stack. MERN stack plus Java. Like you have to learn one and then you can go with the Java. I would rather prefer that. Okay, but if you're very beginner, you should learn Java at least, Java language, and then come on the MERN stack. Because placement, I think, helps you in that. Okay, so let's start. So guys, I'll share this documents with you. Let me know if you're able to access it. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Guys, let me know if you're able to access this particular. No, you're not able to access it. Shut up. The link. Okay. Let me know if you're able to access it now, guys. Again, try it one more time. It's asking for access. Now I hope everyone is able to access it. Cool. Okay. So do not change anything here. I don't think so you have the right access. Okay. But if even though you have it, I don't know. Please don't do it. Okay. So we'll be doing Flipkart code. APIs are mentioned here. Okay. We will see how many APIs we can. Yeah, Fatima, anytime. Okay, so these are the APIs that I've mentioned here. You guys can use it later. We'll also use these APIs. I have already mentioned some data here. Okay, I've already mentioned some data here, which we'll be using. It's a static data, nothing special. Okay, just images ka URL is here and text is here, nothing special here. Okay, so if you know JavaScript a little bit, it's just an array with object with static information. Okay, for carousel, because I don't want to go and download the images again and again. Similarly, carousel data again for a different carousel. This is categories, this is carousel. And then this is like banner. This is for bank banners. So there's a bank banners come where the EMI information will take you further. So this is a one banner that comes. This is for that. And then this is a deals banner. If I remember, I was talking about this. Okay. So this is a deals banner where the banners comes with this photo. That's it. That's what it is. Okay. So this is static data. I will be writing code and explaining you things. I'll keep mentioning here so that you guys have a one single point of information. Let's say I'm explaining something, I'll keep it here, of course. Okay. So even though I'm making diagrams, I'll take a screenshot and put it here so that you can have access later. I hope that helps you, right? Okay, let's start. So guys, you must have the visas code. That's what I expect. Okay, you must have the VS Code. Also, you should have a Node.js installed. So how you will check the Node.js? Open your terminal, open your VS Code. Okay, I want everyone to open your VS Code and open the terminal. How you will open a terminal? You click on terminal, okay, and then click new terminal. You guys can see here, there's a terminal and the new terminal. There's a shortcut key is also mentioned. It's Control Shift Tilt. Okay, so that also you can press. I prefer Control Tilt. So yeah, so new terminal opens. Okay, you will be seeing CMD here, or maybe unable to see. Joy, figure out. You must be able to see terminal. ऐसा कुछ VS Code में. Okay, new terminal. Let's press Control Tilt. Okay, users Utkarsh ji, this is my path where I'm standing right now. Okay, where I'm standing right now. Standing means in which folder I'm working right now. So this is Utkarsh ji. It's my user profile. I would love to go in a particular folder, जहाँ पे हम अपना folder बनाने वाले हैं, where we are going to create our project. Okay, so we will go till there. But first of all, we need to check at least that we have Node.js. So how we'll check it? We'll say node minus v. That's it. That's what you need to do. Okay. Node minus v. Node space minus v. Let me write it here as well. Check node minus v. Okay. So there's the command that you need to do. Node minus v. Okay. It will give you a version number of node. So this is the version number I'm using right now. You must have different version. That does not matter. You should have a Node.js at least. If you don't have it, install it. Watch video. I'm not going to tell you that. It's very simple to do. It's very, very simple to do. Open Node.js on Google and download it. Okay, there's a link come and you will be able to do it. Okay, Windows, Mac OS, whatever, you install it and do next. It will install. Okay. Should I have the latest version of Node? As I said, does not matter. Whatever the version that you have to set the path, then install again. Okay. Okay. So Node minus v. That's the requirement for now. Now let's move to the React. Prerequisite, again, I'm explaining. Guys, you should have at least HTML, CSS, JavaScript hands-on, at least. Okay. आपको HTML, CSS, JavaScript लिखना आना चाहिए. So at least JavaScript you should be able to understand properly. Okay, all the loops and the basic array objects. Okay, array methods. At least that much you should know. Do we use Redux toolkit? No, we will not use Redux toolkit for this session. We will avoid it because this is very basic session. Like if you have joined for the first time in React, after this session you will be able to code. Okay, so this session is going to be about that. Okay. Let's see how many people will survive after this session. Can we increase the pace of the session? Sure, Aman. Let's start. Okay. Okay, guys, this is a React. What is React again? React is a JavaScript library. Okay. What is library? It's basically a piece of code that somebody has written on top of JavaScript. Okay. So JavaScript code, it has been written and they are providing some functions to us that we can use directly. Okay. So that's what make it library. Okay. So React is a JavaScript library for frontend to create user interfaces. User interfaces is basically the UI that you see on the screen. You use any website, right? You use Instagram, Google, Facebook, whatever. It has a UI part. UI part matlab on which whatever you see on the screen on the browser. So React helps us to create that. Okay. The library for web and native users. That's what React says. Okay. React is very wonderful and it helps us to create single page applications. And single page application is basically one page, single page. Okay. Nothing much. It now it has added functionality so that we can create multiple page. But yeah, as React started, it started for single page applications because React was used started for a like smaller applications and smaller components level. That's how it started. So we call it like that only. React is a front-end library to create single page application. Single page matlab ek page, okay? One page. It will be controlled by one page. If you even you change it, the page will not refresh, okay? Even you change the URL, the page will not refresh, okay? What is Next.js? Next.js, you can say a elder sibling of React, okay? It's basically a framework entirely. It has a lot of things in it, but it's just a library. React is just a library. Okay, cool. So yeah, we will start this React.js. Learn. So who created this React? Anyone can tell me? Like, I hope everyone knows it. Who created React? Guys, who created React? Everyone knows? Why we use React for front end? Because it's created for front end, Vishwa, and it's very popular. It's very easy to learn. It's very easy to manage. Okay, and so that's basic. Very basic reasons to use React as a front end tool. Because even though you go in an interview, right, they will ask you, why do you choose React? It has been asked to me a lot of time that why do we choose React? So first of all, it's very easy to learn, so that whenever new joiner is coming, they can learn it very easily, right? And it's very easy to manage because it helps us to create different components, and at even an isolated component in isolated environments. So it's very easy to manage also, which reduce the cost of the company, right? And it's very flexible. Flexible means it's a library. It's not a framework. Framework comes with own rules, own setups, right? Whereas library comes with plugins, a set of plugins. Plugins means if you want to use something, use it. If you do not want to use it, don't use it. You are not abide to use every functionality that a library offers. Whereas a framework, you have to abide with at least the basic layout. Okay, you cannot say ki nahi, mujhe only I have to use one function, I will not use the entire framework. No, you cannot do that here. But here in the library, you can say, oh, I just need a one functionality of it. I do not want the entire thing. So that's what make library, and that's what make what we can say a framework. Okay. Fine. So that's what React offers to us. It's very flexible. Okay, it's very flexible. So that let's say if I want to add something new, I can add it. I can want to remove something, I can remove it. It offers a lot of flexibility that help us as a company. It help us to grow faster and reduce the like dependency on a particular library. So let's say tomorrow if React does not exist, or let's say if something new has come up, we do not have to make a lot of changes. Okay. So the difference between library and framework, I just told Abhiram. What a fantastic answer. Okay, I've just told Abhiram. You can watch the recording. Okay, moving forward, guys. Quick start. So the React has got a new version. So React has come up with a Pro Max version. Okay, before in this 2023, before that, React has like older version. And if you even you go the website of react.dev, I think that does not even they exist. It is still exist, but they says, oh, we don't operate it anymore. So this has been changed in this year only. Okay, legacy React.js.organization. This was an old website of React where I started learning, and this website is a new website of after the 18th version has come up. So it's like Pro version that has come up. Okay, so a lot have changed. We will be stick to the 17th version, which was a before version, not this version, because a lot of thing has been changed. Not everything is useful right now to everyone. Even the company is still preferring this particular version because it has more stability, whereas this has a lot of new things and not used for most of the purposes. So we'll be also sticking with this. Okay, of course we can you can learn more here. There are a lot of things to come, a lot of things here, so you can learn it on your own, but we will be mostly sticking to this particular part. Okay, so the primary thing that has been changed, and that's basically the starting thing that has been changed here. I would say 90% still same. Okay, the 10% has changed, but the 5% of the beginning, that's actually has changed a lot. How we create an application of React, right? How do we create an application of React? So that's the first thing that we do, create. So that has been changed in new version of React as compared to old version. So there's something known as create React app. I hope somebody has, you must have heard about it, create React app. So this is a tool, okay? This is a tool that React used to offer us, okay? React used to offer us, but now they have stopped it. And they said, oh, it does not exist anymore, we will deprecate it. So that's basic thing. That's the first thing that they used to offer to create an application. They have stopped it. So that's the first thing that they have stopped. And that's very rude. Why? Because yes, of course, obvious reasons. It's very slow. It's very like it has become a different library in itself, hard to manage, a lot of dependencies. So yeah, React has says we will just focus on the development concepts and all, will not manage a tool. So yeah, that has been stopped by React. React says that you can rely on another tools available in the market. We will offer you the concepts. Okay, we will offer you the functionalities. Will not offer you the tool. Okay, so they are saying here, if you come to the installation part and you go to start a new project, you say they are offering you to start a project with Next.js, okay, Remix, Gatsby, Expo. So they are offering you a lot of tools to create the applications, but they are not offering the core tool that they used to offer, which is here. Okay, if you come here and if you come to the create a new React app, and this is the first thing that they used to offer, create React app. Okay, that was the first thing. So we will be using this because most of the companies still use this, and I don't use it right now anymore, but I teach this at least because it's useful for you. Okay, so we'll be you start dealing with this. Okay, the prerequisite for this, the node should be greater than 14 and the npm version should be 5.6, more than 5.6. It must have in your computer, so don't worry about it. इसके बारे में चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं है. We'll be focusing on this. What is this? This is a tool that React used to offer and still alive, is a dependency in the world. So we can use this npx create React app. So let's execute this in your system. Open your terminal in the VS Code and go to the directory in which you want to create your application. I would rather prefer change the drive. Don't use C drive. I'm using C drive because it's my company's laptop. Please use another drive because तुम्हारा laptop उड़ जाएगा तो project भी उड़ जाएगा. Okay, so do not do that. Change the drive. You know how to change the drive. If you have the like D drive, say D this or maybe CD D this. I don't know. Check it out on your own. Okay, so change the drive and create a folder there. I have to create on C, so I'll be using C drive. मेरे को बनाना है अपने उत्कर्ष documents folder में, so I'll be going to CD documents, change directory space documents. I'm going inside the document folder. Then I'm going in चलना उत्कर्ष folder. Okay, so this is my folder, and now here I'm going to create my project. So I'll be writing npx create React app. Okay, very simple like command, npx create React app. Npx क्या है? It's a tool of Node.js, you can say. Okay, it's a tool of npm. Npm is a tool of Node.js. So Node.js आपने install किया, right? It's already there in your system. So you have the access of npx. Okay, what it does, it basically execute this particular package which is available online. So ये जो package है, package मतलब this piece of code somewhere online, it's available. So this code can execute in our system. So we are allowing our system to execute this code. npx node package. npx means node package executable. Okay, execute करना है. So node package executable create React app. This is a package name. And now we have to write our project name. So I'll be writing Flipkart. So this is how I'm going to create Flipkart. Okay. See. Okay. The catch here is you cannot have capital letter. So you cannot have the capital letters in the name at least. Okay. On the Mac, how to change the drive directly? I should Vaishnavi, do not do in Mac. You are safe in the Mac. So we don't have drives in the Mac. I used to have Mac. Like I just in the Sony, I don't have the Mac, but I have worked with Mac only. So yeah, so you do not need to worry about that. You can just simply create a prop anywhere. Okay, Vaishnavi. Flipkart. I have choose C. Often. Guys, let me know if you are able to do it. itna kar, if it is done, let me know. Okay. I hope everyone is able to understand what I'm saying and everyone is comfortable whatever I'm saying, right? Prashad, you are not understanding anything so far? Prashad, are you facing difficulty any difficulty are you facing? It's not get installed. Which one? What? What? It's what? Create React app or Node.js? Prashad, Node.js install नहीं हुआ यार. Node.js के लिए ना, I'll tell you 1 second. It's very easy to do it. Like you don't have to do anything. It just go to Node.js website. Okay. Click on the download. And you click on this particular thing. It's download. Okay. It will start and you have to just say next, next, next. That's it. You do not have to do anything. And then you can come on here and then search for the Node.js CMD. Node.js. Node.js. Don't open this. You can open the command prompt. I'm not able to see the Node.js command prompt, but okay. You can open this command prompt also. Okay. Please say the code again. You can open the website. Shreya, here's a website, right? Create React. X create React. Okay. Cool. NPX, not NPM. Okay. Give lot of NPM errors. NPM won't deprecate a tar. You can update your NPM version maybe, or may check your firewall. Check your firewall, Fatima. If it's not happening, guys, for all those people, if it's not happening, NPX is not required. The node is not installed properly. Whoever is this. Kumar, your node is not installed properly. Okay. What's the difference between NPM and XPX? NPM is basically help us to download the package in your system, Kirti. Okay. And whereas NPX just execute the code online only directly. Okay. So it tells your computer that directly execute the code. Do not download this code. Create React app का जो code होगा ना, do not download this in my system. Whereas NPM says, oh, interact with the NPM website and download that particular package in my system. You got it, Kirti? Okay, one thing, guys, if you're not able to do it, Node.js and all, okay, if you're not able to do this, this particular part, create React app and all, okay, if you're not able to do it, this is the part, this is something that you can use, Code Sandbox. Okay, open the website, Code Sandbox, so that you guys can use. Okay, codesandbox.io, create an app here. No, sorry, create an profile here. आपको अपनी profile बनानी है, ठीक है? And then you will start seeing this create button. I'll give you this link. 1 second. Okay. Okay. So this is the platform where you can like virtually code online. ठीक है, मतलब आपको system पे करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't have to do it on your system. You can virtually code online in React. So this is the website where you can, if you are struggling in your Node.js or something, you can use this. Okay. After signing up, you will see this create button. Okay. Somehow you will see this create button. And then you will see this create sandbox button. Okay. Okay. You will see this create sandbox button. You choose React here. आपको React choose करना पड़ेगा. Oh, it's start asking a lot of things now. Okay. Create sandbox. You can name your project here. Okay, the visibility, of course, public because you don't have the pro version. And yeah, that's it. इतना ही करना है. So you just have to give the name of your project and you have to create a project. Okay. So that's what you need to do. If you're struggling with your laptop, Node.js version, create React app thing. So if you're struggling with downloading, installing anything, use Code Sandbox. Okay. चला जा. Come on. मेरे hang हो गया. Yes, वो काफी सारे लोग आ गए ना. It's hang. Um, virtual editor, and that's known as Code Sandbox.io. Okay. You guys can come here and start coding. This is your terminal. This is your same thing that we will do. Okay. So यहाँ पे you will do you can see everything. Here your terminal will come. You don't need terminal. Do you need it? Yes, you will need it. नहीं, इसको बंद ही कर देना. You don't need it. Okay. So yeah, that's the code. Okay. And here's the output. So if you want to see the bigger output, you click here. इस पे click करना. ठीक है? And you will see the bigger output. You can see the console here as well. You can open the terminal from here as well. So this is like bigger output, this is smaller output, this is the code panel where you will write the code, and here you will see the everything. And whenever I say download something, you will search here. Okay, you will search dependencies here. So what's a good practice for now to create? We will use white. There's something known as white. So can you show again how to create an app in VS Code? Nitesh, npx create React app. Guys, if you're leaving behind, watch. Okay? Then we'll not be able to complete most of the things. Okay, it's done almost. Okay, maybe side. So what's a good practice of create app nowadays? Imanshu, I said no, white. There's something known as white. White. Okay, so I use white. Wheat बोलते हैं कुछ लोग इसे. I use this white. Okay. It's very fast, configurable, and easy to use. Okay. So I use this most of the time when I create my project. So yeah, that's what I do. We'll not discuss this today. Sorry. Fine. What's the purpose of this? What's purpose of this use? Basically to create app, Manoj. To create app. Okay. 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 I hope everyone has installed it. If you have not done it, you must have a profile on Code Sandbox. Okay. Can you use Replit? Yes, you can. You know it, you can do it. If you know it, you can do it. Whatever you want. Okay. CD Flipkart. So now you can see, guys. It's saying that okay, use CD Flipkart because now we have to change our directory. Right now I'm standing at Utkarsh folder, so I have to go to my Flipkart folder so that I can code there. CD Flipkart. Okay, so I'm inside my folder now, and now it says run this command npm start. So we'll do this npm start. Replit is good, guys. You can try. Yeah, you guys can try. Replit is also nice. White is the third-party tool? Yes, it is. Almost everything is a third-party tool here. Kundeti, okay. Rao, it's almost everything in React is a third-party tool. Whatever we will use, it's a third-party. Okay. React does not offer its own anything. It just offers the basic things. Okay. So how to do it on a Mac? What, Vaishnavi? What? It's the same command. It's the same command. npx create React app. Okay. Okay, guys, here you can see the local host 3000 has come up. So this is a website that has been automatically opened जब मैंने command चलाया npm start. So if you see here, when I press this command npm start, ये दूसरा क्या खुल गया, दूसरा क्या खुला हुआ है, इसको बंद कर देते हैं. Okay. Yeah. So when I run this command npm start, it does some magical things. What it did, it compiled my app. Compiled means it start reading the React app, converting to its plain JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and put it on the browser. Okay, so basically React is a Node.js application, right? And browser only understand HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So what does this middle thing? So there's some middleware here between React and browser. So there's something in a middleware which is known as, you can say, Webpack. Okay, there's a Webpack and Babel that comes in between. So you can say it's a frame. It's mostly a tool that help us to build and convert the code. So Babel, B-A-B-E-L, Babel, which help us to convert the code from React to plain JavaScript. Okay, Babel. And there's a Webpack which help us to build the code, rerun the code whenever we change something. Okay, so Webpack help us to do that. Okay, so now there's a tool in between which is still in React, inside the React offers us. So there's something known as Babel and Webpack in between, which does this transpiling. Transpiling matlab convert karna code ko, okay, and build karna. So transpiling and building. Okay. So yeah, React code comes, Babel convert the code, and Webpack build the code, and then it transfer to the browser. Okay. I have this website also. Why I'm doing with my hands? I just don't know. I forgot. Bhul gaya. Sorry. I have this website also. No. Yeah, you can see I'm teaching React, so too much here. Cool. So yeah, this is the first website that we have built. I hope everyone is here, right? Guys, I hope everyone is here at least. सब यहाँ पर पहुंच चुके हैं. Gauravi, Tyagi, you can ask questions. Swati, you can ask questions in the chat. Robin, you can ask a question in the chat. Okay. App still created. App still created. ये कैसी English है? कीर्ति, creating. अच्छा, ठीक है. So let it create. It's okay. You can use Code Sandbox. ठीक है. Till then you guys can go to Code Sandbox or Replit. Guys, if you are struggling still, you can open the Code Sandbox or Replit. Zeba, well, this is beautiful name. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. I don't know, but this is a very beautiful name, guys. What does this Java means? What I was saying, yes. So you must have at least app running, Code Sandbox, either on Code Sandbox or maybe on browser or on your browser. ठीक है? ठीक है. Now let's start. So your app is running. ठीक है? Your app is running. So you can see here, it's compiled successfully. It started your server, localhost 3000. Localhost is basically a domain name for your local machine. Okay? And 3000 is the port number. So your laptop has lot many ports. Understand, port is like switch. तुम्हारे घर में बहुत सारे switch होते हैं, right? There's a main switch and then there's a lot of switch in your home. So understand this port is basically a switch. So our website is running on 3000 port. Okay. And this is the like domain name for our local computer. And this is again the port number. ये इसका बस नाम change कर दिया, localhost. It has just changed the name. And the Webpack compiled successfully. It says Webpack compiled successfully. Okay. And that's it. That's what we need to do. That's it about the terminal work. इतना हो गया हमारा terminal का काम. खत्म. Okay. Can I use the port? You can use anything, Java. It's basically that. It by default 3000. You have to configure it. But if you are able to do it, do it. Okay. By default is 3000. It's IP address of class C. Oh, thanks. Network class is here. Okay. Localhost 3000. So now we start writing the code. Open the folder. मैंने open folder ही नहीं किया. Wow. Open the folder. And you guys can run the command code dot. But अब मैं open folder करके बता रहा हूँ. So go to the documents. Utkarsh. Flipkart. and click select this. Okay. Robin, you want to ask anything? Please put it in the chat. Will it work in intelligence? Yes, it will, but I don't use it. I've never used it, so I don't know. Okay. Command to run. What command to run? npm start. CD folder and then npm start. It's a Java IDE. Yeah, I don't think so. It will work there. Intelligence. No, I don't think so. It will work there. Can you repeat the process because I lost my connection? Mrunali, you can just go through this particular document. Okay. And I've shared the document, right? So you can just go through that document if you miss anything. npx create react as virtual editor. Okay. So if that works, you don't need this. If this does not work, do this. Okay. Okay. Guys, you can go through this document, okay? If you miss something. Okay. So now you guys can see this folder has been created. Okay. ये देखो ये सब बन चुका है. ठीक है? And we don't have to do anything. It's automatically has been created this many things. Let me explain one by one what is it, and then we'll start coding. So this is node module. It's basically a packages that we need to run our application. Okay, so this is like very big chunk file folders which is here. You can see a very big folder. You don't need to share it this particular folder to anyone. It can be re-downloaded again by just using command npm space I npm install. That's a command to install this again. So you don't need to share this ever. It's basically a Thor hammer. You must have seen the meme also. Node module is considered as a Thor hammer. So do not share this. You will not be able to hold this up in anywhere. Okay. So yeah. Public folder is a like main folder where your code start interact with the browser. So you can see index.html will lie here. Index.html is a primary HTML file that comes here. Okay. And then source folder where all your JavaScript code will come. Okay. Where all your React code will come. So this is the source folder. And package.json is the file where you can see some information about your app, the name, the version, the dependencies. Dependencies are basically the packages that you need for this particular app. Okay, the third-party packages that you need for this particular app. So you can see React DOM, Web Vitals, and all. So we don't need to know everything right now, but yeah, you just need to understand dependencies is the packages. Okay, some folders, some code that we need for this app to run this. Okay. Script is the commands that we are going to run, and it helps us to interact with this particular React app. So you remember that we run this npm start command. So this is nothing but this command npm start, which helps us to interact with the React script. Then when we when we will going to build this application, we'll say npm run build, which will build the application. And then we don't need this too right now. Okay. Other thing you can skip. Only important thing here is dependencies. It should be minimum as possible. Okay. It should be minimum as possible in your projects, because it will, when you start injecting a lot of dependencies, your code become heavier. Okay. We don't want our code will become heavier. The project will become heavier. Okay. Heavier matlab bahut sara code aa jayega, right? It will start getting a lot of JavaScript. So we don't want that. And these commands are helpful for interacting with the web application. Okay, this is the log file. Log file is basically a detailed versions of every dependency. So let's say if I'm using dependency React, okay, so what React is using internally. Let's say if I'm using could be any like, for example, I'm using material UI. Okay, so what material UI is using inside as a dependency. So it's basically a detailed description of all the dependencies with their versions. You don't need to know about this. You don't need to even keep this. You can delete this also. It will automatically generate. It will automatically generate whenever you interact with package.json, or you will interact with the node modules, it automatically update, automatically deletes. So yeah, package.log, package.log.json is not useful for you right now. Okay, not even like a long time. So you don't need this. It automatically generates. So yeah, automatically updates. Never going to interact with this. Fine. Git ignore file is basically a file that we write code here, which we want to exclude pushing on the GitHub. So हम नहीं चाहते कुछ code मेरा GitHub पे जाए, right? I don't want कि some code I want to push it on GitHub, so I can mention here that I do not want to mention node modules because it can re-download, and coverage build. So I don't want these files to go on the GitHub. So yes, okay. Package log. Yeah, you don't need it, Pooja. As I said, it's automatically generated, so you don't need this. Okay. Fine. Now let's start source folder, and you guys will see index.js. Okay. Index.js. Here you will be seeing this import React and everything. But before this, let's go with the index.html. Index.html, everyone knows, right? Kirti, I'm speaking in English only. Sometimes I may be using Hindi, but that's, I think, I'm not explaining anything in Hindi. Okay? I'm using English only all the time. Okay, index.html is the primary file that runs on your browser, right? It's the first HTML. So you will see here how our JavaScript code goes into the HTML. You can see this div mention ID with the root. Okay, here the root is mentioned, right? So this ID help us to inject our JavaScript in this HTML. So remember, in JavaScript we use document.getElement by ID. Everyone knows this, document.getElement by ID. Sabko pata hai na? Right? Everyone knows the document.getElement by ID. Right? That's a basic thing. You select the element, correct? So we will use that. We will use that document.getElement by ID. Okay, and you will get this. You will select this root and put our put our React inside this. Okay, how the React does it? Let's see. If you go to the index.js here, this is the primary JavaScript file. This is a root JavaScript file. Okay, root JavaScript file. And you see here, we are importing React. We are importing React DOM. We're importing index.css. Okay, we're importing our app. And also we are importing some web vitals, which we don't need. And then you can see root, React DOM, create root. Okay, so this is the line that I was talking about. Document.getElement by ID, root. Okay, so हमने root mention कर दिया है. And the React DOM dot create root. So basically what are we doing? We are saying React DOM. React DOM is basically the DOM of React, application DOM React. Okay, so that is basically saying ki, oh, select the HTML DOM, put my DOM inside it. Okay, create a common point. So what it basically means, किधर गया? आ जाओ. Yeah. Ending. Okay. So what it's saying that, okay, React, you're creating some components here. Okay, you're creating your DOM here. This is, understand, this is a React ka DOM or maybe React ke components. Okay, this is your main app. Okay, this is your main app of React. This is a top level component. Okay, this is a top level component, and then here is a HTML DOM. Okay, here's your HTML DOM, which has a div root, right? This is was a root, div root. Let's consider this is HTML and this is a div. So app, the React DOM library is saying that, okay, create a root between these two. So create a channel between these two. So whenever I change something, whenever I do something in this, that has to transfer in this. Okay, so that's what that line is saying. React DOM create root. So pick the root from the HTML and root के अंदर render matlab put my code, show my code with what is app. So that's what I said, right? Strict mode is basically put a lot of you can say strict compiling rules. Okay, so whenever you are writing some code, you have to take care of some variables or maybe some pattern. So it's basically a rules that is applying on top of it. We don't need it, so we are removing it. हम लोग इसको remove कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. We don't need this also. We can remove this also part. We can removing this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's what it says. Okay. I hope you understood these two lines, right? It helping us to connect the React DOM with HTML DOM and rendering our app into it. Is that clear? These two lines are clear to everyone, guys? These two lines are clear? What these two lines are doing? Okay, these two lines are doing. I'm not saying you are able to write it, but I hope you are able to understand this. कि क्या कर रही है ना? You don't have to write this. It will automatically generate it, so you don't need to write it. Okay. Okay. Cool. Now I have a question, guys. Anyone still struggling with the creating app? Anyone still struggling with creating app? Priya Mane, you are still struggling with the creating app? So guys, if you're still struggling with creating app, please go on Replit and use it. Maybe on Course Inbox, you can use that too. So if anyone's still struggling with the creating app, please. Okay. Viraj, can we complete the Flipkart clone? We will see how far we can go. It's more, this particular session is more focused on understanding the concepts, okay, and creating at least a final product, okay. So I hope by the end of the session you understand React properly, because this most of the people, this is the first session. Okay. Okay. So as I said, guys, the app is the root level, right? This is the root component. This is the root, or I will say the first component. So that is what we are going to interact with. So app.js. This is app. Okay. This is app, and it's a component. Okay. It's a component. So what's component now? Let's discuss that. Component is basically functions. Okay. Components are basically functions that holds JSX. Okay, what JSX? We'll discuss that. But for now, just understand it's basically a part of the UI. Okay, it's a part of the UI. So when you see this UI, right? When you see this UI, you can break this UI into small components. Components, as I said, part of the UI, small component, a complete part. Okay, but it has to be a part of the component. So now can you guys break this into small components? Guys, can you break this particular UI in small components? Let me break it first for you. You can see this is a header here, right? Let's go with a bigger one. There's a header. There's a categories section, right? Let's break it in small component. There's a promotional carousel here, right? And if you come down a little, yes, there is a product components, right? There's a products component. An individual product component can be divided into further, right? It's a particular card. We can break it into a small card. Correct? Everyone understanding how I'm breaking this UI into small component? Well, whenever, let's say if I give you a task to create this, you'll not create everything in one go, right? You will start creating components. You will start with header. Then you will say, okay, I have a time now. Let me have a coffee, and then I'll start with banner, right? And then okay, then your message comes and you scroll the Instagram reels for 5 minutes, and then you say, what the shit that I've done. Then you say, okay, let me create card. Okay. So that's how it works, right? I hope that's how the development works. And ऐसे work करता है ना, right? You watch reels, you drink coffee, you have food, then you code a little. No? I think that's how it works. Okay, so we can break it more. You can break it as much as you can. You can go as deep as you can. You can see this particular heading can be breakable. This particular icon can be breakable, right? This particular side ad can be breakable. And if you come down here, the footer, okay, the footer section can be breakable in itself again. So a lot of things can be breakable, right? So this is basically what I will say. Um, Components. That's what we say, components. Now let me just rephrase the definition of the component, and I'm writing it here. Okay, please understand this thing. A React app. So what is React app? A React app is a collection of um, isolated, independent, reusable components. Okay. So React app, what is React app? React app is a collection of isolated. Why I'm saying isolated? Because they can be treated as isolated. The header does not need to know anything about the footer, right? So header has no relation between header and footer, right? So they are isolated. I can develop separately header. I can develop separately footer, right? And there's no relation between them. So they become isolated. Okay, I can keep them separate. I can have the separate file for them. I can keep them any like a separate place, and footer can be a separate place, right? So they are isolated. Independence, as I said, they are not dependent on each other. The header is not dependent on the footer. Even the footer is not dependent on the card, right? So they are independent to each other. So if I change something in the card, let's say if even I change the CSS, it does not going to affect the footer, right? Footer CSS. So they are independent to each other, and they are reusable. Reusable is a very important term, because whenever you create components, you have to think, can I reuse this? So whenever you create component, you always have to think, can I reuse this? How can I make more reusable components? Why we do it? Because as more as you create reusable components, you have your less JavaScript code, right? Because JavaScript is too heavy to load, right, on the browser. So as much as less JavaScript you have in your code, it will be more easy to load your website, right? That's a one point. And it's very easy to maintain because there's only few components. So I do not need to write a lot of code, a lot of things to manage, right? And to debug. So small code, small components, reusable. So it's very helpful, correct? And components. Okay. For all the people who are saying full, let's go speed up, guys. मैं पहले speed up ही चाहता था. I got the feedback that I should be going slow. Okay, so please be with me, है ना? We'll go. Of course, we'll go faster when I'm writing the code. ठीक है? Okay, Afan. And everyone, not just from, you know. I got a feedback that I should be just complete website today. Not complete website यार. Complete website तो Flipkart वाले नहीं बना पाए 7 साल में. एक दिन में हम 3 घंटे में कैसे बना लेंगे? हाँ? Okay, cool. So let's start creating. Okay, so we don't need this. Okay, not which we mentioned. Okay, so we don't need this. We removed it. Okay, we'll write it on our own, everything. So the first thing that you need to write every time is import React from React. So if you're coming from C++, can we get the recording? Yes, you will get the recording. Okay, so if you come from like, yeah, Joy. Okay, so import React from React. So if you are coming from C++ or Java, you remember the import thing, include thing, right? So it's basically that only. We ask in this file for React to come, okay, to initialize its variable in this particular file so that we can have a scope. You understand JavaScript, you know what scope is, right? So we will have the access of the React variable in this particular file. So that's why we are importing React variable, and that's very important to do it. It's not mandatory. Again, I'm saying it's not mandatory. Okay. Actually, I'm from Python. So there also you have to import things, right? Joy. You have to import things, right? To get the scope of it. Correct? We import a lot of things in Python as well. Correct? So yeah, what I was saying. Yeah, import React from React, right? So import React from React, help us to get the scope of the React variable in this particular file, so that whenever we are going to write JSX, again, I'm not explaining what JSX is. Whenever we are going to write JSX, we should have the access of React. Okay, we should have the access of React. Whenever we are going to write JSX, we should have the access of React. It's not mandatory to write. You can remove this line. तुम इसको हटा भी सकते हो. It will still work. But it is very important to write because it helps us to put a good practice. Okay, it's a good practice to write because in the future when you become a good developer, it will give you the problem. Okay, there's some configuration in the future that will give you the problem. Okay, so yeah, it's a good thing to you, right? Report web vitals. What is it? Viraj, we are not discussing that. You can Google it right now. Okay, I have removed it from my code. मैंने remove कर दिया. Okay, it's not important for now. Okay, so now let's write it. So what is component actually in the code? मैंने component समझाया, right? It's a part of the UI, right? But what actually it is in the code? It's basically functions. Okay, it's basically functions. So when I'm going to write first function, first component, which is app, it's basically a function, right? I hope everyone knows what function is it, right? What type of function it is? कौन सा function है ये? What do we call this function? Guys, what do we call this function? I want answers from everyone so I can understand that you know JavaScript at least. This is arrow function. Okay, we call it arrow function. It's not anonymous. Anonymous होता है जिसका नाम नहीं होता, है ना? इसका नाम है, ठीक है? ये anonymous function है. इतना जो part है, that is anonymous function. Okay, and then we are assigning it to a variable. ठीक है? So you can say a function that anonymous function that has been assigned to a variable, है ना? उसको क्या बोलते हैं? उसको कुछ और बोलते हैं. रुको, उसको क्या बोलते हैं? भूल गया. Function expression. Yes, that is known as function expression. Function expression. Okay, app. ठीक है. So app हो गया. Now this is the first component that we have written, but still it is a function, right? It's still a function. ठीक है. ये component नहीं है. It's still a function. It will become a component when you put JSX into it. Okay. Normal function and component में क्या difference है? What is the difference between normal function and the component? That a component has a JSX into it, and the normal function does not have the JSX. Okay. So we will understand what is JSX, but for now, just understand the difference. The component function has JSX into it, whereas the normal function does not have the JSX into it. Okay, so now we have to return. Okay, so if we want to make it a component, we have to return some JSX. So what is JSX now? It's nothing but a HTML look like code. Okay, it's HTML look like JavaScript code. Focus what I'm saying. It's a HTML look like HTML जैसा दिखता है and ये JavaScript है. So HTML look like JavaScript code. ठीक है? Why I'm saying it's JavaScript? दिख तो HTML जैसा ही रहा है, but है क्यों JavaScript? So if you hover on it, okay, if you hover on it, you will see it's nothing but a short form of React code. You can see here, it's nothing but a short form of React code. So behind this, React has smartly done this. कि भाई तुम div लिखो, you will write the div because you are a UI developer, right? You know how to write div, h1, h2, span, p. You have used to of it. ठीक है? You are coming from HTML, you are used to of it. So you write your HTML, but behind the scenes, we will convert this into JavaScript. You getting my sense, guys? What is JSX now? JSX is HTML look like JavaScript extension. You got it? Now, is this clear to everyone? What is JSX? HTML जैसा दिखता है, but है नहीं. ठीक है? अभी, now if you remember, can we browser, no, it cannot. It cannot. That's why we have the variable in between, right, Viraj? Remember I said we have the variable in between, which converts React code in JavaScript, plain JavaScript. You got it? Mayank says it's showing error. No, it will not. You have to write div. Okay, use parentheses, guys. Focus on this. Use parentheses. देख रहा है ना? Use parentheses. ठीक है? You have to use parentheses, not the curly braces. Okay, because you are returning something, not returning an object. Okay, so now you will write div. Okay. So this is nothing but JavaScript. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to write our first hello world in React. And from here, our journey begins of speeding the code. Because now it's more of watching and soaking. Bro, at last, can you show the full code? Yeah, of course, Joy. I will give you the code also. Okay. अभी तो ये कुछ लिखना ही नहीं है, ये तो ऑटोमेटिकली जनरेट हुआ है. Is it same as HTML work? Okay, right, EJSON file. What is WHC? I didn't understand. WHC is it same as HTML, which we write? Sorry, which we write in EJS files. Not exactly, but yeah, kind of. You can say. Robin, if you can ask questions on the chat, please do it. Okay. Okay, guys, we got it. Let's see the output. So if you go here and if you open your Create React app, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here. Refresh it. It didn't refresh automatically. It should be. Did I stop my code? Did I stop? Yeah, I think yes, I have stopped my code. npm start. You just have to run npm start. Okay. Npm start will start automatically either one. Localhost. How you will stop your application? You have to say Control C, Control C, Control C to stop. Okay. You have to press it twice. Control C, Control C. But yeah, it will stop your application. Okay, I'm seeing an app error. Okay, you guys can see I'm getting an error which says export default imported as app. Okay, was not found in app. Okay, so there's an error coming. So this error is coming from index.js file. You can see here source index.js file. Let's go in the index.js file. Okay, so here you can see we're importing app. Okay, हम लोगों ने import कर लिया है app को, but we are not exporting the app from our file, right? We have just written the component. We are not exporting. So there's two things, importing and exporting. So whenever you are writing a component or maybe writing a variable which you want to use another into another file. Ding 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 ding. किधर गया? Okay. Ding ding ding. Okay. So whenever you are writing any variable, okay, let's say you are writing X variable here. It automatically runs. You can just say refresh. There will be a refresh button, okay, on the side, on the right side. Okay, guys. So whenever you are writing X variable in any file, and let's say you have another file where you are going to use this, चाहे इसमें use करना है, if you want to use this inside this file, or maybe you want to use outside this file, maybe this is a.js, okay. This file name is a.js. And this file name is b.js. Okay. So now what you're going to do, you say is ki, okay, I have to export this. Okay. You will say export. So you will write export here before this variable. Let me just clear this first properly. Write it properly here. So write export const matlab the variable name and the variable. Okay. That's it too. Okay. This is how you're going to write your variable. Okay. You write export behind this so that now it has become like a product which can export from your file. Okay. And then now you can import here and you can say curly braces X from the path. Kiss file se aa raha hai? You can say a.js. If it's a JavaScript file, you do not need to mention the .js. Okay. You do not need to mention the .js. / saying that current folder mein a file hai. Okay. The current folder has a.js file. Okay. The current folder has a.js. If I use double dot, it means my parent folder has a.js file. ठीक है? Single dot current folder, double dot parent folder. So export किया a.js से and import किया like we imported in b.js. Okay. The curly braces is here. Remember the curly braces here because this is a named export. Named export matlab I've written just export const x. So I have to use the same name x here. So I have to write same name x here as well. So this is like curly braces. ठीक है? अब import and export में I'm not going detail right now because it will be too lengthy. Okay. Just follow the syntax. So यहाँ पे you can see I'm not using the curly braces, right? So this is default export. Default export says that there must be one variable in your file. Okay, there must be one variable in your file that should be default. It's not important, it's your choice. But if there's a one variable in your file that is you want to export defaultly, मतलब तुमको एक variable बनाना है, right? You want to create a variable which is defaultly exported. So you will just write default after the export. तो मतलब इसको तुम default लिख दो. So now whenever you write only without curly braces, the name, any name, it can be X, it can be Y, it can be Z. It does not matter now. Okay. The name does not matter now here. Okay. You can name it anything. That's why it's known as default export. So whatever you are importing, it's defaultly going to the default variable. ठीक है? तो यहाँ पे जो भी नाम, whatever the name you will give to the variable, it's defaultly pointing to the default variable. Is that clear? Is that making sense, guys, to everyone? Is this making sense to everyone? क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं? Default export. So any a.js file has any variable which is defaultly exported. तो यहाँ पे जो भी नाम लिखोगे, the b variable, b file, whatever the name you will write, it is pointing to the default variable. Is that clear? Guys, is this clear to you? So naming का चक्कर नहीं है. There's no confusion of naming. यहाँ पे तुमने x import किया, so if you have exported the x, you can import z, no problem. It's defaultly pointing to that. The name does not matter. Okay, is that clear to everyone? And there can only one default export in a file. भाई जिनको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, for all those people who are not understanding, please let me know. Okay, how can I help you? You have to tell me. You cannot be just sit in the back. तो यहाँ पे कोई बताएगा guys, is this a default export or a named export? मतलब this variable was default exported or named exported? What do you think? Named के लिए there must be a curly braces here. Afan, okay, Abhiram. Named के लिए there must be a curly braces and we have to use the same name. Okay, I can name it anything here. Let's say मैं यहाँ पे कुछ भी लिख देता हूँ, my app, and I can use this my app here. But this particular variable, it's still pointing to that function. So what is it now? Is it default or named, guys? Is it default or named? It's default now. Congrats, you're understanding. Okay, but I have to export it. So let's export this. So what I will write here, I'll write export. I'll write export default. मैं नीचे भी लिख सकता हूँ. I do not need to write here only. I can write it here as well. Export default and the app name, the variable name. Okay, the variable name. Clear now, guys? Is this clear now? Everyone understanding this? Okay. If I would have written named export, अगर मैंने named export लिखा होता, then it must be like this, and it has to be inside a like this in object. It's like an object. Okay. वरना तुम export directly यहाँ पे भी लिख सकते थे. You can just like export here. It's the same thing. यहाँ पे ऐसे लिखना. If you're writing like this or you're writing like this, it's the same thing. Okay. Okay, fine. So I hope you understood now what is default export and named export. So you will be able to figure out in the future. Let me just go back a little and write it here. Difference between named and default export. Okay. Cool. So now we have the hello world in the frame. You guys can see hello world aa chuka hai, and we are great. and we can see elements के अंदर body, root, and now you can see root के अंदर, now inside the root we have our code. Okay, so now hope you are able to understand कि your React has put your code inside the root of HTML from that line of index.js. Okay, so now guys, we are going to write the code. Buckle up. Cool. So what we are going to do first? First, we are need to create header, right? That's what we are going to do. So first of all, we create components folder to keep my all my components. Okay, components, and I will create again a folder for my header so that I can have an isolated component, right? Remember, isolated header. And inside this, I'll create a header.js file, or you can call it index.js file. Index.js is basically stating that this is a primary file for this folder. Okay, index.js means this is the primary file for this particular folder. Okay, so whenever I import from header, I'm directly importing from index.js. Okay, cool. So I need to write import React from React. That's the first thing to write. Remember always. And then I will say const header return. Okay, and now here we need to write div. So use shortcut. I cannot use shortcut because a lot of new people here. I don't like using shortcut. I don't use it. That's what I am. Okay, that's what I like. Okay. So guys, now I can write my header here. So I'll just put a framework for now. Header. तो मैंने एक header बना लिया. Okay, let me just write h1 also here. H1. Okay, so we have the header now, and we have to export it. So I'll defaultly export this header. Guys, किसी को fast लग रहा हो तो let me know because I'm just writing basic. Okay, nothing special. Import React from React. Header. Again, same thing. Header. Okay, and exporting. Now I'll create a carousel component. Carousel. No, categories component. Categories component because we have the categories in between, like below this. Categories. This will also have the index.js file because it's a primary file of categories. What's the first thing to write, guys? What's the first thing to write? What is the first thing to write in the file? Import what? Guys, what should I write first? The first thing. Import React. Is it mandatory to write? Is it mandatory to write, guys? No, it's not. React automatically handles. Okay, but you should write it. It's a good practice. Okay, now I am writing categories component. Categories. Okay, guys, I hope you guys are able to like notice that I'm using the first letter as a capital letter, okay, of components. So that's basically a rule of React component says that the first letter of function or the component has to be capital. Okay, that's a rule of the component. Okay, and export default categories. And here again there will be a section. Let me create a section here. Section is nothing but a tag only, HTML tag. Okay, now let's call it JSX tag. So it's a JSX tag only. And इसके अंदर I have this h2. Okay, and which is says categories. Categories की definition. What is the heading of the categories? There's nothing heading. So let me just write categories for now. Okay, so we have the header now and we have the categories now. And let's create carousel. Carousel. I'll say index.js again. Import React from React. अभी तक किसी को कोई डिफिकल्टी आ रही है तो बताना गाइस प्लीज, है ना? If anyone facing any difficulty, just let me know. Write it in the chat. I hope I have explained everything in detail. Okay. No, even a beginner should be able to understand what you are writing, right? Anyone who is a beginner also. Can I see the code of the header? It's basically that only I'm going to write, Surbi. Okay. जो मैं लिखने जा रहा हूँ, it's basically a header का same ही है. Okay. So same ही है. It's just the same thing. Then the variable name is changed. Export default carousel. And then you can say div h2. Let me call it h3. There's any heading? No, there's no heading in that. Let me have h3 here. And I'll say carousel for now. Okay, carousel. So we got the carousel. Could you fastly revise all the components you created? We have created carousel. We have created categories. We have created header. Okay. Everything has the same code. Every component has the same code right now. Nothing difference. No difference at all. Okay. So I've just created carousel, categories, and header. Now I'll be creating a products page. Products page. Okay. Index.js. It's not a page, basically, it's a product component. Import React from React. Why I'm doing this, guys? Again. Semicolon is not mandatory. No. Gorangi. It's basically JavaScript thing. So semicolon is not mandatory. Const. Return div. Let me write it section. Still, any heading there? Any heading there? Best of electronics. Okay, fine. Take it. So I'll also write this. Best of clothes. Oh, clothes की spelling गलत हो गई. Fine. Export default products. Okay, now everyone cool for now. Is it necessary to write have an index.js for each component folder? No, Arpita. No, it's not important. I am writing it because whenever you import it, you do not have to write index as a name of the file. Okay, you can just directly use header folder name. Okay, Surbi. No, Arpita. Okay. So index is basically the primary file. It's basically the primary file. So whenever I import something from header folder, it directly goes into the index.js and pick it the default variable. Okay. So I do, let's say if I have any particular file, header ke andar h.js, so I have to write it manually. Header slash h.js, not js, but header slash h. समझ गए? Is that clear, Arpita? Arpita, is that clear? So the session is going fantastically. Just carry on. Oh, thanks. I hope it is. Fine, guys. Carousel categories, header products. So we got all the components that we listed, right? I'm not going further than this because then it's almost like copy paste work. Okay. So yeah, we got this, right? I hope you are understanding all this. Now we have to import them in app.js for now. Guys, we will not be able to create everything like I guess today, but let's import them. So I'll import the header here. So I need a header first. So you can see automatically imported. Import header, components header. So you can see now I do not need to write slash index. ठीक है? मुझे वो slash index लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है because it's automatically going to pointing to index. Okay. So I'm saying header, import header variable from my current folder has component folder, and inside the component folder we have the header folder, and inside that there's an index.js. Okay. Can you please footer section also? I don't need that for now. Let's have this first, and then let's say we get the time. Then what's the difference between div and section? Div and section are HTML tags only. Okay. Section is the HTML5 version of putting sections. Okay. Okay. It's basically HTML5 version of putting sections, like div only, but it's got a new name, section. Okay. Div was an older name. It still works, but section is like a new way of creating sections. Okay. Semantic tags. Yes. Okay, so we got the header. This is how we call the head. This is how we import the header. Okay, this is how we call the component. If you can check it here, this is how we did it here as well. App में, my app. So this is how we write component. This is the syntax. Greater than, there's less than sign, the variable name, self-closing tag, and brand. Okay, this is how we write the tag of the component. Similarly, I've written it here as well. Slash header, component, and the self-closing tag. So we have written the header. We have written the categories. Now I'm going to write carousel. And then I'm going to write products. Products. Cool. So we got all the components listed here. Okay. So now I hope everyone is understanding the definition that we write, right? The definition that we written. React app is a collection of isolated independent components. Reusable pa nahi aaya abhi, but isolated and independent. Is that clear to everyone? Is that making sense to everyone now? Huh? Guys, is this understandable to everyone now? That I said the React app is a collection of isolated and independent components, right? So now you can see header is isolated. Uske liye alag se folder hai. It has a separate folder. It has a separate file. Okay. Categories at separate folder, separate file. And they're independent. There's no relation between header and products. There's no relation between carousel and header, right? So they're independent. So React app is a collection of isolated, independent, and we will come on to reusable. But for now, just hold it. So we got it, right? Let's see how it is looking. It must be looking perfect. Is it? Yes, it's looking perfect. Header, categories, carousel, best of clothes, right? Okay, now what we need to do, let me just close this. Okay, so now we have to design it like this, right? Isko design karne ke liye, guys, you can see we need a little bit of CSS. Okay, I'm lazy of right now, and we are short of time also writing CSS. So there's a beautiful library available on internet which offers the UI elements, and that is known as Material UI. It just keep enhancing itself. This library just keep enhancing itself. So whenever you come after 5 months or 2 months, it's a new version here. Okay. It always be a new version here. I remember when I was teaching this last time, maybe 3 months back, because there's a cohort, right? 3 month ka hota hai. So React ka pehle 3 mahine pehle hua hoga. So I remember when I came to this website 3 months back, it was a different website, different components. Now it has a little bit of different components, different UI. So something has changed, I guess. A little bit changed, but yeah, it just keep enhancing itself. It's a beautiful library. So this library is basically built on React. Okay, like React is built on JavaScript. So Material UI is built on top of React. Okay, it offers the UI component. So you do not need to write div, section, button on your own. It has some everything. Okay, like you remember jQuery UI, you remember that Bootstrap, okay, or maybe Material in your plain JavaScript HTML CSS. Have you ever anybody had used it jQuery UI? Anybody have ever used this jQuery UI? No. Okay. So if you're not used it, check it out. Okay, there's a library like Bootstrap, jQuery UI, Material X, right? Or bahut sari Chakra UI and all. There's a lot of library available. It all does the same work. Okay, it does the same work. It offers you some utility things. So these are utilities. These are not functionalities. These are utilities. Utilities matlab it's like good to have them. Like घर में होते हैं ना कुछ utility things, correct? Your home has some utility things. It's like vacuum cleaner. It's a good to thing, right? Good to have. You have it, it's okay. You have the broom, right? You can use that too. So it's like that only. You can have it. It's good to have it. Yeah, it has the you can say trade-offs. It increases the JavaScript in your code because you involve this. There's a lot of code that it comes with, right? It comes with a lot of code, so it makes your app heavier. So yeah, so it has a trade-off. Like you purchase vacuum cleaner, it comes with a lot of money, right? So yes, everything has a trade-off. It offers you the vacuum cleaner offer you very easy cleaning, but it comes with a lot of money. Similarly here, it offers you a clean, simple UI, right? But it comes with a lot of JavaScript. So that's a like disadvantage of using this, and it keep increasing, like it keep enhancing itself. So you don't know which version to use every time, right? अभी मैं use कर रहा हूँ version, let's say for example 5.12. In the future, I'll come after 5 months, it will be like 5.212. So I'll be confused in that case. कि भाई इसको use करूँ कि इसको use करूँ, right? So it happens most of the time. So bigger companies do not prefer any of these library. They build their own libraries most of the times, or they just stick with the basics. Okay, they just stick with the basics. So yeah, that's what Material UI offers to us. And here you can see installation. So this is how to install it. You have to copy this command, npm install. For all the people who are using Code Sandbox, there must be a portion there which says dependencies. Bottom left corner there must be a section which says dependencies, search dependencies. So you can search these dependencies. Okay, you have to search this, this, and this. आप search करके click करोगे तो it will automatically install. Okay, but for all the people who are doing with me on your computer, you have to copy this npm install. So npm install, npx was executing the code. Okay, npx was executing the code. npm will install this code in my computer. Okay, so now I am just opening my terminal, closing my app, control C, control C, control C, control C. जब तक नहीं होता तब तक control C. ठीक है? And I like this. When I started learning React 3 years back, I used to like this. npm start, control C, control C, control C. यही करते रहते थे in my internship. चालू करो, बंद करो. It's fun. Okay, let's install. I'm stuck in the middle, but I'm listening your class. Please try a second record section as soon as that I can work on immediately. Yogita, sure. Even though you are not able to do it, you can just go on any particular website with like simple thing. You do not need to create everything the same thing. You can just simple create normal things as well. Okay, simple we use karoge na. So just create a simple header on your own. Open Material UI, guys. Open Material UI. Open Material UI. Go to installation part. Material UI for beautiful UI. I don't know. Material UI. Yeah. Cool. Can I use Bootstrap, Material UI, Tailwind together? Why would you do that? It's just increasing dependencies. You just need Tailwind or Bootstrap or Material UI. Correct? Why do we do that? You don't need to, right? मतलब तुम झाड़ू भी रखो, काम वाली बाई भी लगवाओ, और तुम वैक्यूम क्लीनर भी लगवाओ, then you have to be richer, right? Of course, there's a trade-offs. You can use it, but again, there will be trade-off. Correct, Robin? You getting my point? What I'm saying, Robin? You are getting my point? What I'm saying? You can use all the three things, but why do we do that? Okay, you have the vacuum cleaner, you have the broom, you have the buy also coming. You're paying all the money to them, so it's basically a trade-off. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it worked. Fine. So we got this. So we have installed. Let's see what we have installed. We have installed Material UI. That's very basic. Emotion React. So this is the new thing that they have involved. Emotion React. It's for the CSS, I guess. Okay, and this is for the again for the emotion CSS. Okay. So yeah, earlier they used to just ask us to download this, but now they ask us to download these two also. This itself another library for CSS. These two are itself another library for the CSS, but yeah, we have to do it if you want to use the yarn. Oh, sorry, Material UI. Yarn is a different thing like npm. npm is a tool to install packages. Similarly, yarn is also a tool to install packages. Okay, we are not using yarn. Yarn is faster and more optimized. but npm is works better most of the time. Okay, bit style components, we are not doing style components, so let's skip this. Okay, so yeah, you guys can see peer dependencies. Peer dependencies is basically the dependencies that this particular package is using. So it is using React and React DOM. So as I said, Material UI is built on React and React DOM. So it's using React and React DOM. So if you want to use the font also, you have to install this. I'm not using font, avoid it. Google Fonts, you can just put it in your क्या बोलते हैं? CSS, in the CSS. So, oh, sorry, in the HTML, so that you can do it. If you want to use icons, yes, we are going to use icons. So let's install this as well. Okay, sorry. Let's install this as well because we want to use icons. So here it's going to the icons. Okay. Font, CDN and everything. Yes, we are done here. Okay. If you want to use this fonts also, Material UI is the robot of fonts by default. Add it to your project by font source or Google Font. तो कर लेते हैं. Okay, it's saying कि by default let's use this. So let's have it. अभी इसको download करते हैं. Okay, any questions so far, guys? किसी को कोई भी question है? Shreya, I will not be able to help this into this. You can ask Varun. चल जा जल्दी जल्दी चल जा. Placement. Please send command on the chat. I've already given that link for the installation. It's here. Go to the Material UI getting started. Okay. I've given the link here. It's mentioned. Okay. Guys, for all the people who are doing it in Codes Inbox, please search it for this. Okay. Search for all this. हो जाएगा. वहाँ पे मिल जाएगा. For all the people who are doing it in. अरे जल्दी हो जाए यार. What is wrong? Until I clear the final evaluation, not possible to set in placements. Yeah, we don't discuss this here. चल जाओ यार जल्दी. Mark deleted. इतना टाइम क्यों ले रहा है? Okay, fine. By the time it's taking the time, let's have a writing the code. Let's understand this, what it is. So guys, it's basically components. It's set of components already offers. Okay. It's set of components already offers to us. So you can see there's a lot of components that are already here inbuilt. Autocomplete, button, checkbox, radio, select, switch, avatar, badge, chip, icons, list. So everything is almost here, right? You can click on it and check it out on your own. Right now, we want to use card as basic. Okay. The card one, because you can see this is a card here, which has the header. It's a white color background. It's nothing but a card. And then there is the images here. Okay. So yeah, we need a card. So I'm clicking on the card. You can see it's nothing but a white background with the shadow. So that's what I want for now. I'm not using app bar because I don't think so this app bar can help. App bar component is basically the header that it offers. Okay. You can see यहाँ पे app bar दे रखा है. Automatically, it's basically it has given inbuilt, so you just have to import it, and it's there. You don't need to write anything. It's there. Okay. So you can see I don't seeing the use of anything here. यहाँ पे मुझे कुछ भी ऐसा लग नहीं रहा जो मेरे को help करेगा. So I'm not using it right now. I'm going with the basic card. Okay. If you think that any component can help you, use it. The code is given. You just need to copy paste. Okay. Understand the code and copy paste at your side. Copy pasting is okay. It's great. Okay. You guys can copy paste. No problem. In React you can copy paste. You need to know the basics. ठीक है, अब हो जाना चाहिए, अगर नहीं हुआ हो तो गुस्सा आ जाएगा मेरे को, नहीं हुआ. Hmm. Fine, let it be. npm start. Guys, I have not installed icons right now because I don't know why it's taking time. कुछ तो बात होगी. Okay, so now let's go to the header and let's initialize the card. Okay, guys, one more thing that you have noticed, that I can only return one element. Okay, I can only return one element at a time. I cannot return two elements from a single component. I cannot do this. Okay, I cannot do this. You cannot return two values from a function, right? You can only return one value from a function. Basic of JavaScript, basic of any language. You cannot return two values at a time. So here you cannot return multiple elements from your component. You have to wrap a single component. Okay, single element. So every component have at least one top level element. Okay, either it can be div, section, whatever you want, have it, but it must be an element on top, wrapping all the elements. Okay, basic of React. And now let's create card inside this. So I'll say card. Boom, boom. Okay, and now I'll write typography. Typography is basically writing p tag. Okay, a typography comes from Material UI only. You can see. Okay, even the card comes from Material UI only. So is it named export or a default export, guys? Is it named export or default export? It's a named export, correct? Okay, it's a named export. So I'm using particular name. Okay, so it's coming from Material UI. Card is basically the white background, and the typography is nothing but a p tag, span tag, h2, the text. Okay, the text that you want to write. So whenever you want to write the text, you will write it in typography. It's not important. As I said, it's just a library plugin. You want to use it, use it. Don't want to use it, don't use it. Use your own p tag. Don't worry. Okay, let me just write Flipkart here. Flipkart. Okay, it's going to be very late. Good. Are we good? That is there. Basic card, show code. Okay, so whenever you create card, you just say card. Okay, whenever you want to write style, you write sx. It's an inline style. Okay, sx. Remember style attribute in your HTML. Similarly, it's sx in Material UI. In React, it's still like style. Okay, React now style here, but in Material UI, it's sx. It has changed in the recent version. Okay, let me see if that worked. It worked. You can see there's a Flipkart coming with a card, right? There's a Flipkart coming with a card. You guys can see there's a card coming with a Flipkart. Sure, Vedant will do it. Okay, but I hope you are understanding things. So you guys can see Flipkart here, okay, with a card. So now you can see, right, we have got this, like we got a card and a typography, which means we have a utility thing and very easy setup to create anything. Now we can create an entire website with these small things. We have not learned much, right? हमने कुछ भी नहीं सीखा. Where's the card section? Here it is, row card. And if you see here, yeah, छोटा सा, दिख रहा white background with a shadow. Can you see that? Can you see that? There's a card section in Material UI. Okay, in Material UI you have to search for it. Either you can search here, or there's a component के अंदर there's a card surfaces के अंदर. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, can you see this beauty of React, that you do not need to learn a lot of things? It's basically small thing and then plugins. Okay, small concepts, just a small concept, and plugins, and you create a static website. The static website, creating static website is fun in React because it's very simple to do, and you do not need to learn a lot of things. Just create an app, start writing it. I love React because of that. And that's why it started. It started for a single page applications because it's very easy to use and easy to execute quickly for single page application at least. कित्थों जा रही है सी पाजी? इत्थे आ रही है सी. Okay. Now let me write SX here because I do not want a border. Sorry, I do not want that bottom border radius. So I'll say border none. So I have to write string. Guys, this is the way to get the style to the material UI component. Okay. It takes an object. So you can see it takes an object. So this is like how you give the value. This is how you give the value. Inside this, you give the value. And it asks for the object. So you give the object. Okay. And that is basically nothing, your CSS. Okay. So you can say border radius. Border radius. And it has to be camel case. Border radius none. If you have used jQuery, you should know this. We write JavaScript CSS like this only, camel casing. The camel casing you have to follow when you are writing the object. Okay. So yeah, now we have written border radius none nahi hota, zero hota. Sorry, border radius 0. Yeah, border radius 0 means we do not want border radius. So we must not be able to see the border radius anymore. Yeah, now we do not see any border radius. You can see it's flat. Okay, now what do we want? We want a background color of the page. You can see there's a different background here. This background and this background is a little different. So let me get the color. I have the color picker extension. I can get the color quickly from here. This is the color. So I got the color. Okay. There's a color picker extension. I already have it for getting colors. And let me put this in app.css. Let me remove this. I don't need it anymore. Index.css does not has anything as such. Has it, but I don't want it. App.css के अंदर I do not importing app.css, so I can delete it. Delete कर देते हैं, छोड़ो. I'm not using it, so delete this. Index.css, okay. Now index.css must have some basic things because I need those basic things. So always whenever you're writing CSS, whenever you are going to write CSS, you write control. The basic things has to be here, margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. These are the 3 beautiful lines that I always write. Okay. These are the beautiful 3 lines that I always write whenever I start with CSS. Margin 0, padding 0. Anyone knows what is box sizing border box? Sabko pata why do we use box sizing border box? Guys, everyone knows why do we use box sizing border box? I hope everyone knows it. No. Pad lo. Nahi pata tha pad lo. Box sizing border box. Why do we use it? It's important to know. In interviews, we usually ask, do you know what is box sizing border box? To the beginner, that fine, at least. Okay. That's it. That's what I wanted to know. What more? The background color, right? So the body has a background color. So let me give the body a color, and that the color that I had already, background color. So I'll give this background color, which is this. Yeah, now I've given it. So the body has this background color. This file has to import in anywhere. So right now it's importing index.js. You can see it's importing like this. It's a CSS file, so it does not have any variable. Okay, this is a CSS file. It does not have any variable. So it's just importing like this. Import current folder index.css, and that's it. The file name. The .css has to be mentioned because it's not a JavaScript file. So it has to be mentioned .css. Okay. So import .index.css. So now what happens when you import this CSS will apply in your entire app. Okay. The CSS will apply in your entire app. Cool. Let's see the output if it's a little different. Oh yes, it is a little different. You can see. Is it? मेरी आंखें खराब हैं. I can see properly. You guys can see properly. It's a different background and this is a different. Can you see this? Okay. Cool. Let's go back. Guys, we are going to write internal styling because we are using material UI. Whenever I think that I need in class name, I'll put the separate file of CSS and then I'll write the class name as well. Because it's a material UI, I'm using inline styling. I don't recommend using inline styling at all. Inline styling, I avoid writing inline styling because we have used a dependency which is easy to use when we use inline styling. So that's why we are using it for now. Okay, just for this practice. Border radius, and I want a padding also. So we can give a padding. So you can see you can just write P. P is also mentioned for the padding, I guess. Yes. I can just say P4. Let's see how it works. I don't think so. I need to give it like this. It works like here as well, I guess. As far as I remember. P. No, it does not. P. No, it does not. Okay, fine. Let me see if that works. If it works. Yeah, it's working. It's too much. Fine. So P is referring to the padding. Okay. Either you write padding like this or you just write P. It's inbuilt in material UI. It's not a React. It's material UI. उसने configure करके दिया हुआ है. The material UI is configured like this. If you write P, it's meaning the padding. Okay. So I would like to write padding because it will be confusing then. And let's give 2. 2 is basically the multiplication of 8. Okay. So now it's better. Okay, we got the Flipkart. Now I want an icon. So let's give it an icon. So this icon, I want to get it. Let me see if this is a link or maybe if this is a link. So I want this icon. I don't have the icon. I didn't download the icon. So let me just inspect it and get this icon quickly. Ding, 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 ding. Aja, aja, aja. Jaldi up. It's a SVG file. And why do you have it? Okay. Okay, it's a SVG file. अरे यार रुक जा. Copy. Let me download this. चल जल्दी जल्दी चलो. कैसा यूआरएल है इसका? बैटमैन रिटर्न्स. फ्लिपकार्ट वाले क्या कर रहे हैं? What is this URL? Batman returns. Saving as in my folder. Okay. This file I'm downloading basically in my folder. Downloads. Sorry, documents. Utkarsh. Flipkart. Source. I'm creating a folder here named assets. यहाँ पे एक folder बना रहा हूँ assets नाम का. And I'll have it inside that. आजा. अरे बड़ा slow चल रहा है यार आज. Assets. And now I'll download this into a logo.svg. Yeah, we got this. Why I'm doing this? Why I'm not using URL? Because I want to show you how to use images, local images. So I've downloaded this in source folder inside the assets folder. You can see all the assets will come here whenever I download. So I want to show you how to use images. So what do you say? You import the asset, give it any name. It's a default export by default. From now you have to give the path. My parent folder, KB parent folder, my assets, you will find out. Inside that, there's a logo.svg. Okay. So that's how I write the path. Import a variable. So this is a variable. It's nothing but a path of this file from the path. Okay. If you want to console this also, you can console it. What is this logo? What does this logo means? Okay. And if you come here, when you check it out, because most of the people, when like sometimes assets are also created in public folder or not, you can put it. You can put it. You have to give the relative path then public folder ka, but I would rather prefer and put it in assets folder. Okay, guys, it's nothing but a path. You can see it's a path where your a temporary file of this SVG live. Okay, the temporary file of this SVG lives because Webpack, React converting web, going to the Webpack, putting this into a some folder of browser, right? Some like it's a temporary folder of a browser. So there's nothing but static media. It's a temporary folder of a Webpack, and it's a file. The name. Okay, so Webpack I changed the file name a little. You can see dot something something dot SVG. So it's all done by the Webpack. But you don't need to worry about that. You just need to import it. तुम्हें सिर्फ import करना सीखना है. You don't need to worry about the Webpack. Import logo from the path of the file. And how you will use it? Let's use it a basic way. First of all, I don't need typography for now. Let's me exclude it because it's an image, it's not a text. I'll use image tag for now because I want to show you raw cheese. कैसे होता है. And then I'll put a logo here, the variable. Let me have a small name here. That's not a component, it's just a file variable. Okay, logo. So you can see I got it. Whenever you are using image, you should give the alt. You should give it's a good practice. You should always give the alt attribute. You can write it logo here. And then they'll give the class. Why I'm giving the class? Because I would like you guys to show you how to write class names. Okay. So remember class? In normal CSS we used to write class. है ना? हम लोग class देते थे. Remember? We used to give class. But here the class will not work because the class is a reserved keyword in JavaScript. Remember? हम लोग class बनाते हैं JavaScript में. Guys, do you know it? We create classes in JavaScript. Guys, do you know this? We create classes in JavaScript. Right? So the class is a reserved keyword in JavaScript. So we cannot use the class keyword. So that's why we have the React has given this class name attribute. So the class name attribute, we have to write class names. That's it. Okay. So you can give any class here. You can say header logo. HEADER header logo. Okay. And now you have to write your CSS for it. So either you can write it in any file, index.css also, but I would rather make it isolated. So I'll give a separate file to it. I'll say header.css, header.css. So header.css is a file for the header. So now I can write it here like header logo. Wait, header logo, logo, and I'll say width will be 70 pixel and height will be 40 pixel for now. That's it. Okay. And I'll put it here. I have to import this file. Import from my current folder. There'll be a header.css, and that's it. Let's see if that works. It does. We got it. We got the icon, and it's perfectly looking like Flipkart. So we are good here. Everyone is good here till now. किसी को कोई भी दिक्कत हो रही है अभी तक सिवाय स्पीड के? I know we are late, but I hope everyone getting it right so far. We'll have a second version, like second session also if you want, but I hope everyone is getting it. The feedback should be nice of this session. तो feedback अच्छा नहीं होगा तो second session नहीं होगा. The feedback session. Okay. I hope everyone. The class name had a typo. How did it work? It didn't. It didn't. It didn't. It didn't. The C small N capital. Gorangi. It didn't. Okay. Header. HEDER. Oh, nice. Oh, nice catch. It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. The CSS didn't work. Yeah, you're correct. The CSS didn't work, guys. Thanks, Gorangi, to note it out. The CSS didn't work. You can see header. It's not applying here. The CSS is not applying here. तुम देख सकते हो, है ना? The CSS is not applying here. So we need to have a CSS. Spelling has to be correct. Thanks, Gorangi, to notice. Oh, sharp eye. Now you guys can see header logo is here. Okay, and it's looking very tiny. So let's increase it. ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया. So let's have it 40 and 80, 100, 120. Nice. 120 is nice. The 40, 180. Acha. 40, 120. Nice. 40, 120. Okay. So now you know the basics. Okay. Now you know the basics. Correct? Everyone? Now you know the basics. How to write the components, how to import and export the components, how to write the CSS, how to use the images. Now you know the basics, everyone. Suppose static, समझ में आ गया सब कुछ? Anyone has still any doubt so far? We have not done anything dynamic yet, but I hope everyone knows the basics of static thing. Guys, let me know if you understood this so far. Anyone still not able to understand anything till now? मेरे को तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा क्या बोले जा रहा है. Anyone like this right now here in this 123 people, 122 people? No, right? I hope it's not. I hope it's not, right? We can have a second session, don't worry, but I want everyone to understand properly because most of the people has a first session, so they don't know it. If I start writing everything, they will not understand and they will not get an interest in React. Okay, so we got this. Now what do we want? We want a search bar and then we want something. But before that, I would like to have some CSS to apply here on my header so that it can work properly. And that has to be my flex things. Everyone love Flexbox? I hope you are. If you don't, start loving it. I won't justify content should be in center. Even an align items should be in center. Okay. Oh, sorry. It's not equal to its colon. It's an object. Okay, guys. It's an object, so it's not equal to. Separated by commas and okay, this is an object. Cool. Now I need to give something max width to it. So let me see if I can give the max width to it. Max width. Can I give max width? It does not take max width. So I want to give a max width to my header. So let me just change with the box. Okay, there's a box. So something known as box, or I think there's something known as container as well. In Material UI. Material UI में आता है ये, ठीक है? Which has max width. Max width, yes, it has it. One second. Go to React, go to surfaces, go to containers. Where's containers? Here, layout. So there's a box, there's a container. Okay. So in the box is nothing but a div only. It's nothing special. It's just a div. And a container is offers you some max width automatically. Yeah, container. So I have to use the container. You do not need to worry. Okay, कि मैं container use करूँ. I'll use container. I'll use box. You don't need to worry. You can use whatever you want. Whatever works for you. Great. No, nobody's judging you on if you're using box or container. Whatever works for you, use it. ओके, इतना सोचोगे तो फिर आगे लॉजिक कैसे लिखोगे? आई वांट द मैक्स विड्थ टू बी, नो आई डोंट वांट द मैक्स विड्थ फॉर दिस, आई डोंट वांट द मैक्स विड्थ फॉर दिस, नोप्स, नो आई डोंट वांट द मैक्स विड्थ फॉर दिस, आई वांट फुल वाइड बैकग्राउंड। अरे चलो यार लिख लेते हैं, कोई बात नहीं। I don't want the max width for this. Let it be. Let it be box, simple box. I want a max width for my app entirely. अरे max width के लिए entirely एक max width हो जाएगा, मजा आ जाएगा. Okay, so I'm giving the max width to my container itself so that whenever I go in a bigger screen, I should not be able to see it's flowing widely. It should be strict in between. I'm giving max width to it, to my entire app, and it has to be Excel. Okay, Excel is basically the some limited width. कुछ तो width होगी limited. You can see it has come in center right now, and this is Excel. मेरी screen बहुत बड़ी है, so it's going. Okay, it's going. It's sticking here only. मतलब इतने भी रह गया because my screen is TV है, so it's basically. Let me go in bigger little. Excel से बड़ा ही नहीं है कुछ भी हो. Fine, it's okay. Excel से कुछ बड़ा ही नहीं है. Then it's not looking good. Let me remove this then. We don't need the fine. Let it flow. And by default it's Excel, so I think we should remove this too as well. Let me move it with div only. Div, cool. Okay. Now we are back. So you can see this is in center because I've said ki try XXL. नहीं यार double XL नहीं होता ये इसमें. I think it does not support double XL. It's not a घर brand की लाके दे दो. Okay, fine. So you can see guys, there's an icon here, so I have to keep it here. So but before that I need to put search bar. So let me get the search bar. Search bar किधर है search bar? ढूंढना पड़ेगा. Search bar, search input. We got this. Okay, so we got this one. Okay, it's looking like that only almost. No, it has a different autocomplete feature. So we want autocomplete. हमको autocomplete ही चाहिए. ऐसा ही कुछ चाहिए. Whenever I start writing in this, it should come. This should come. But I don't want this UI, right? So we don't have time to deal with this key. The UI should look like this only and not. Okay. So what we do, we keep this simple. We keep it simple. And boom. इसमें तो कुछ है. कुछ भी है मेरे लिए. होना तो चाहिए. Free solo search input. I think this is nice for now. Prop is designed to come free solo. Set free solo to retro text box contain only arbitrary values. Control state, country select, playground. Each of the following example demonstrate how to autocomplete. Fine. Let me just have it. Okay. Expand code. Simple size को रहते हैं. You can see you have to import these two things. And what it does, it basically क्या क्या लेता है ये? Come. Okay. So you can see it text field. Text field मतलब input. Autocomplete is the autocomplete feature. Okay. And autocomplete is autocomplete. Disable portal. Disable portal is a prop. Okay. What is prop? Okay, we'll come on that. What is prop? But yeah, I understand these are attributes for now of this particular component. ID. Okay. And the options. Options are basically what to show on the when you're searching it. This style. And this is the input. What type of input you want. So we can give our input also. Okay. We don't need to worry about it. इसमें हम कुछ भी दे सकते हैं. So they are giving their input. So let's have a copy paste right now for now. So we'll just say, okay, copy this. Let's have a separate component for this. I do not want to put everything in the header. Okay. Let's have a separate component for this. I would love to have some common components. So in the source folder, I would love to create something like something known as common. Common is basically common components. It's very small, tiny components like card that I'm creating. Okay. Card, button, autocomplete, input. These are very small components that anyone can use it. So these are common components. I would love to have a search bar. So I'll say search here. इसके अंदर I will create an index.js and I'll say import React from React. Const, sorry, search bar. I'll import both the things that it has said. Text field. Guys, is this named export or default export? Is it named or default? These are default export, but we can change them into name. ऐसा ये सिर्फ material UI offer करता है. It's not everywhere. Okay. That from material UI you can directly make them named. Okay. It's not everywhere. It's just material UI thing. Okay. So I want an autocomplete. So I want this autocomplete. And that goes here. Disable port ID. You can put any ID you want. कुछ भी लिख दो ID you want. Okay. And so your search bar. Options. So we don't have options. So let's give some options here. Const options. An array with the objects and what it wants as an object. So it wants a label and a year. No, I don't think so. It wants a label and year. What it wants. It wants label. Okay, so label should be there. Okay, so label to hona chahiye at least. Label should be there. But the year, what's the point of using years? Year क्यों बोल रही है? Options में क्या होता है इसमें? Let me see options के अंदर. Why do it's asking for the options? Year. Type something. I think that's a value. No idea. Top 100 films. Okay, option structure. यहाँ पे आ गया option structures. You guys can see. अच्छा, one point that I would like to tell you guys, the documentation is your best friend. Okay, this is the like very important thing. Whenever you are importing any library, whenever you are creating something, even you're working with React, the documentations are your best friend. Okay, so like whenever you want something or maybe you want to share something, you go your best friend and talk to them and describe them and take gossips from them. Similarly, whenever you're creating something, whenever you're facing any problem, your difficulty, you come to the documentation first. So documentation is the best thing that you can find your solutions. If you're not able to do it, go to Stack Overflow or maybe go to ChatGPT. But documentation is the first thing that you should come for. And now you can see I do not know key options mein kya chahiye, right? Because it, as I said, it's keep enhancing. So now I got it here, option structure. And it says option should have label. Okay, option should have label and then whatever you want. So it should have label and whatever you want. Okay. Or you can give a simple array also with strings. So now I can understand ki, acha, what it wants. Okay. It wants array of objects which should have the label, or it should have just simple strings, right? Now I can use any of these. For now, I just want simple strings. So I can say const, I'll not make it complex, options. Okay, I'll say electronics, menswear, women's wear, boutique. Okay, sorry, this is like way of typing code. keeping myself engaging. Electronics, men's wear, women's wear, accessories. Okay, nice. So we got options, and we have the width also. We'll change the width later, and we have this label says movies. Where's movies? That's a label. Why do we have label? We don't want label. Yeah, we want label actually. We want label. Label is basically the placeholder. This is the placeholder, right? So we want a placeholder which is says search for products. We want icon also, but we'll make it later. Search for products. Animation. These are the props of text field. Props are basically attributes that we give. Okay, for now you just need to understand that to this. So there are a lot of attributes you can say, and I want कि इसमें ये book जाए. Hidden label. I want a placeholder. This should be a placeholder, not a label. I want a placeholder. Let's see if that works. Let's see how it is looking. Okay, I need to import this. Export default search bar. Ding ding. Let's go to the header. Import it. And we got it. Now let's see if that works properly. Yes, it's working properly. Yes, now it's working properly. That's what I wanted. Huh? We can have an icon also here. Icon भी लगा सकते हैं. Icon was not installed. That's why we did not install this. If today is not complete, the one more class provide. We need to ask. Afghan. I think it will come. Okay, it will come eventually. Maybe next week, but it will come. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. So I want a gap also between these items. The gap will be 20 for now. Oh, that's too much. 10 for now. That's again too much. 8. I think that's good. Okay. So let's have a width, a bigger width for this. देखो icon लगा सकते थे. Icon was not installed. That's why I'm not using the icons for now. Okay, bear with me with this. Placeholder, search for products, and what more? Width, right? So let's have width. 700. Too much. 500. I think that's nice. So yeah. Electronics, men's wear, women's wear, and all. I want a border radius to it, to the text field. So let's give it XX here. Okay. SX. I want border radius of 8 pixels. Yeah. 12 pixels. Yeah. Okay. I don't think so. We have to give this. I think we have to give it to this border radius 8 pixels. Boom, basic. Not working. 12 pixels. Okay, it's not working because it must be internally configured. So if we want to see this, we are providing border radius to this, but whereas the border radius is applying to this element. Border radius has this element. This element has the border radius. So we need to give to this element. अब इसको कैसे देते हैं? We will have to deep dive into the material UI, so that I think so we do not do that. We should not do that. Let's keep it like this only for now. It will be too much अगर हम उसके अंदर जाके उसको CSS देंगे तो for now. Let it be like this for now. Okay. What more? What more? I want this account, okay, and then cart, and then become a seller. So let's get them quickly. Oh, the icons are still I don't have, but let's okay. I want this mm, skeleton. नहीं. I want this. किधर गया? किधर गया? किधर गया? Pop over, pop over, pop over, pop over, pop over, pop over. Yep, here. Pop over. Pop over is basically that when you click on it, it comes on out. So like this, right? But in our case, it's like hover. तो hover के लिए भी हमारे पास होना चाहिए. Yeah, like this. I want something like this, right? When you hover on it, it comes, right? That's what I want. When you hover on it, we want it. Let's see, show the code. So we want that pop over, and top typography is for writing account. Let's go to the header. Let's import the popover. And now this is the component for it. Okay, so let me have a small component for this also, which says account menu. Okay, account menu, index.js, import React from React, const account menu. Some people are saying why I'm not using autocomplete, why I'm not using shortcuts. I don't like that because it reduces the practice. Okay, if you're a beginner, you should not use it. And now I'm experienced, but still I don't use it. Account menu. So I want this typography should come, like this entire thing should come. So what I'm going to do, I'm just copy pasting this for now. Entire thing. I'll explain everything. Don't worry what I'm doing. So it's basically says that there's a div, okay, and a typography. Typography is your text only. Okay. You don't need this for now. Okay, you don't need it. Okay, you need it. Also, yes. Basically, this area owns. Understand that this is the popover for it. Okay. This area owns says that I belongs to this ID. Okay. So this ID has to be same. So you can say mouse over popover. You can give anything. You can say account menu popover, account menu popover. Area has pop up true by default. On mouse enter. Whenever I hover on it, what should happen? Okay. And whenever I say I mouse leave, so whenever I'm hovering on it, what should happen? And when I'm leaving it, what should happen? So basically, when I'm hovering on it, I want to show the popover, and when I'm leaving it, I do not want to show the popover, right? So now here's the concept comes, and that concept known as state. Okay, so here's the concept of state comes. So state says that whenever you want a variable, okay, whenever you want a variable that you know it's going to change, okay, whenever you want a variable when you know that it's going to be changed, you need a state in that. So whenever, let's say you have a x variable, or initially the value is 2. Okay, initially this value is 2, and you are very sure that this value is going to change. Okay, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 0, whatever. Okay, you are very very clear that this variable I want to change. Maybe I'll store some data into it, maybe I'll store some value into it, but if this variable is going to change. So this variable has to be a state. State holds value in your component whenever you are re-rendering the UI. Okay, whenever you are re-rendering मतलब जब भी आप दोबारा से UI चला रहे हो, तब दोबारा से ऐप को रन कर रहे हो, I would say the app load कर रहे हो, the component you are loading again for a new UI, for that change to happen to visible, you need a state. State can hold the previous value, okay, the latest value. So to hold this value, we need the state. So let's call this state. State is nothing but a variable only, okay. What helps us? It helps us to change the component, to show the change in the component. It helps us to show the change in the component. What does it actually mean? It shows a change. What does that actually means? Let's say I have a UI. Okay, I have a UI and I'm showing on this UI count 1. C is equal to 1. Okay, I'm showing C1. And there's a button here. When I'm clicking on this button, I want this count to update. Okay, when I'm clicking on this button, I want this count to be updated. So can you please tell me, will this variable will change? तुमको क्या लगता है variable change होगा when I'm clicking on this? Do you guys think that this variable will change when I'm clicking on this? It should, right? Because it has to show 2. जब मैं click करूँगा तो it has to show 2, correct? So the variable has to change, correct? Everyone understanding this? Everyone understanding this problem? That whenever I'm going to place on this button, this value has to change, right? So now I'm very clear that this variable has to change. So I will be using state for it. Okay, मैं इसको state बोलूँगा. Nothing state, nothing difference. It's just a variable, but I'm calling it state. Okay, why I'm calling it state and not a variable, simple variable? Because the React says if you use the simple variable, the UI, okay, the UI मतलब the screen will not show you the latest update. The React says whenever you change a variable, I will not show the latest update because I do not know React DOM. Remember that first line that we talked about, the connection between real DOM and the virtual DOM, but the React DOM, the connection between that. So that particular connection will not be able to understand if there's something has been changed in a particular component. कोई छोटा सा component कहीं बना दिया, right? You have created a component somewhere, and now this component has to notify this connection, right? This component has to notify this connection that, oh, something has changed in me. So you're understanding now the flow, guys? तुमको flow समझ में आ रहा है? Everyone understanding this flow? That this small component has to notify this connection that something has changed inside me. Everyone understanding it? Can I get yes or no if you're understanding this connection? Right? So the small component has to notify that, okay, some variable has changed. So if you change a simple variable, let x is equal to 2, let x is equal to 3 karoge na, so this connection will never be understand ki, oh, there's something has changed. So this connection has a relation with this, okay, direct relation with this. So this relation is created using something known as use state. So this is the first hook that you're understanding now. Use state. So what this use state will do, it takes you the initial value from you. So in our case, it's 1, right? Let's have it 0. Okay. So in our case, takes the first initial value from us for our variable. And in the return, this is a function, okay? There's a function. So in the return, it gives you an array, okay? So I'm just writing array is equal to use state, okay? So array is equal to use state like this, okay? So it gives you an array. So I'm destructuring an array. I hope you know what destructuring is because you are coming from JavaScript. तो आपको destructuring तो आनी चाहिए. So if you don't know it, just say कि array देता है, okay? The first value is the variable and the second value is the function that updates, okay? That updates that value, okay? So the first value is nothing but a variable and the second value is the function that update this variable. So now what you are doing basically, you're creating a variable which is connected to use state and use state is connected to the connection, okay? So क्या हो रहा है? So you are saying कि, okay, I need to have a variable in this component which is known as C. The C is derived, it's basically the created from that connection using use state. Okay, so now whenever I change this function, whenever I change this variable, I have to use set C function. Okay, set C मैंने नाम दिया, it's your name, you can give it any name. Okay, but remember the second parameter as the function name. So set C is a function name that help us to change or update this variable. So now what will happen whenever you say set C with a new value? So set C will go to the use through the use state, notify the connection, come back with the latest value and update the UI. You getting my point now, guys? Is it making sense to everyone? So whenever I have to say, whenever I click on this particular tag, whenever I click on this button, I will write set C C+1. Okay, so now what will happen? Set C, which is coming from use state, will update the value of C variable. Not because of this entire line. Okay, यहाँ पे मैं कुछ भी लिखता यहाँ पे अगर मैं 2 भी लिखता ना, so the C variable is now 2. C variable is now 2. ठीक है? I'm writing C+1 because I have to just keep increasing value. So I'm writing C+1. पिछली value, the previous value plus 1. Okay. So set C+1. Okay. So whenever this line will come, whenever this line will run, it will notify the connection. Okay. That, oh, something has been changed in this component, and the latest value will just assign to the C variable. Is that making sense to everyone now? Guys, is this clear to everyone now? What is state and why do we use it? State is a variable that can be changed in the component, and the purpose of this to notify React DOM that something has been changed in the component. Is that clear to everyone? Is this clear to everyone? Okay, is it clear to everyone now? I hope everyone is understanding this. A variable that can be changed in the future, and it notifies the React DOM that something has changed inside its component. You guys can have like professional definition from Google. Google says ki definition dekh lena, professional definition, but that's a simple definition from my side. Cool. Now, why do we need it? Can you see a change here, guys? यहाँ पे दिख रहा है कुछ change हो रहा है. Can we see this something is changing here? What is changing, guys? What is changing here? Arrow is changing, but there's one more thing, right? What is happening? This it's coming, right? It's coming and going, right? It's coming and going, correct? It's showing and disappearing. It's coming and disappearing, right? So we need a change for this. There is no at the background color to theek hai. But see, all these three things can be controlled by using one variable, right? All these three things can be controlled by the one variable. This popover coming, the background changing, and this icon moving, right? I just need to know that whenever I'm hovering on it, I'll keep a variable, mark it true. Okay, whenever I'm hovering on it, I'll mark it true कि भाई कुछ आया है, and when I'm leaving this, I'll say false. So there's a variable I need which will remember that if something is coming, make it true. When I'm leaving, make it false, so that I can do these changes, right? I can do the changes on the UI. As समझ में आ रहा है state का purpose? If you understand the state purpose now, then I need a variable जो इसका ख्याल रखेगा. Okay, I need a variable who can take care of this change, right? Whenever something coming, I need to do these three changes, which can be controlled by one variable. And when I'm leaving it, I'll make it false, right? So I need a state for this. So let's create a state for this. Boom. So you can see they have created a state. Okay. react.useState. I will use the useState directly. The initial value is null. Initial value is null. And they are saying const, the variable name, the set function. Okay. And whenever on mouse enter is happening, this function is running and it says set the variable with the value. So whatever this value is, we will check it out what the value is. But I hope it's true. So जब open हो रहा है, it's true, and whenever it's closing it, it's false. It's null basically. है ना? समझ में आ गया? Everything is clear to you, guys? Is this code is clear to you? This code is clear to you? Okay. So basically, this event.target is nothing but a DOM element. Okay. So that we can understand कि pop over किसके ऊपर लगाना है. So I'm just keeping this here for now. Creating a variable first. Okay, मैं हटा देता हूँ. Copy pasting कर रहा हूँ. Okay, I'm not copy pasting it. I'm writing it. So I const. I'll say use state null initially. Okay, null because I want to store the DOM element. So I'll say initially element set element. Okay, use state कहाँ से आएगा? Use state will come from React. So it's a React feature. You can see it's a named export. Automatically comes as a bit named. Okay. EL set EL. Now when I'm saying const handle, it's a function. Okay. So whenever I'm clicking on it, I should be I'll be getting an event here. एक event मिलेगा. If you know JavaScript, you know what event is, and इसके अंदर एक current target होता है. So I just want to set my element, which is my event dot current target. Current target is nothing but a element जिस पे ये hover हुआ है. Okay. And whenever I say const handle close, whenever I'm closing it, I'll make it null. Okay, I'll say null. Dwara false. Back that state. There's no element on which you want to put the popper. Fine. So we got this, right? So let me just import all these things that we have. Typography, pop over, and that's for good now. I will say account here. Account. Guys, icon is not used because you know it's not installed, but that's okay for now. Over this pop over. Oh sorry, account नहीं आएगा, उसके अंदर my account आएगा, my profile आएगा. It has my profile, and this has a account. Okay. Okay, now nice, we got it. You can see it says open. So I'll say here open की जगह if element is present, put this ID, else undefined. Okay, so this is like ternary operator. I'm telling this. Okay, whenever I'm setting element, notify the React DOM that EL has changed. EL will get the latest value. Whenever the EL gets the latest value, this particular value should get. If the EL does not have the value, which is null, whenever the EL get null, show the undefined, show nothing. Okay. Yeah, you will get the recording, Abhiram. Don't worry. Okay, you'll get the recording. So guys, now let's see account menu. We should be getting account menu here. Header header.js. Chalo. Okay, export the gain. We have not exported it. Export. Will you get the code? Yes, you will get the code. Don't worry. Default account menu. We can have the next session also for this so that you can understand it. Like we'll just write code because you do not need to learn anything new in that. उसमें कुछ नया सीखने को नहीं मिलेगा. मतलब उसमें मतलब you don't need to learn the concept. You will just write the code, right? Till what time you will get the recording? I'm not sure, but till what time you will get the recording, that you need to ask to team. Okay. Okay, let's see if that worked. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, we got an error. Error EL is not defined. So it's coming on source common account menu index.js. So you can see uh, source के अंदर there's a common folder, account menu folder, and index.js. Here we are getting an error on line number 30 that open and anchor element is not defined. So let's go and check it out. Open and account element is not defined. So we have the EL here, and the open is nothing but a boolean value for EL. So I'll write boolean value for EL. For all those people who don't know what is this, it's basically not EL, not of EL. So matlab boolean value. Okay. So if I say, let me just say clear it out for you. So if I say not of 1, for example, I get false. But if I get not of 1, it get true. So basically I'll get boolean value. It's a shortcut of getting boolean value of anything. Okay. So मुझे किसी की भी चीज की अगर boolean value चाहिए, if I want boolean value of anything, I can use this. Okay. Not the value. Okay. I get the boolean value. So I will say not null, I get false. Not false, I get false. Okay. So yeah, that's why I'm using it. And let's see if I'm still getting an error. No, I'm not getting an error, and get the account, and I'm perfectly getting my profile, which is great. Now, what do I wanted in this? I wanted my profile, orders, gift coupons. Okay. So you can write it as much as you want here. My profile, orders. Next time when you come, I'll have icons also installed. Okay. We can add icons. My profile, icons, orders, wish list. Push. Log out notifications. Notifications. You can style it however you want this. Okay. Log out. So you can see we got it. Okay. I want a border around it. No, I don't want the border around it. Border kabhi aayega jab when I hovering on it, right? And also there's some change in the. No, I think it's nice. You want the icon also? I don't have the icon, so I'm not able to do it. But let me show you the icon thing also. Let's have a span. Okay. I'll say whenever EL is true. So it's a conditional rendering. Okay. It's a conditional rendering. Okay. इसको बोलते हैं conditional rendering. So when there is a EL, whenever EL is there, मतलब over here, so I want the upper one. So I'll get the upper one. If it's not, I want the down one. So I don't have the down one. Okay. I don't have the down one. Whatever. Okay. Down near. Okay, let it be. काम करते हैं इसको ऐसे ही रख देते हैं स्टाइल लेते हैं let's give it a style I want to rotate it whenever EL is there I want to rotate it upwards right so it's already upwards so I do not want to do anything so I'll say rotate 0 0 degree okay 0 degree but when there's nothing so I want it to be down so I want it to be at least 180 degree let's see if that works I've given conditional styling let's see if that works should be oh it's not working it's not working why लग तो रहा है it's not happening. Why it's not happening? 90 degree. It's not happening. Display block. Yeah, that's a problem. Okay, go with me. Okay, so it's not working on span. Let me have a display inline block. Let's see if that works on display inline block. Display inline block. This is a CSS funda. Okay, I'm using display inline block and all. Yeah, it's working properly. Now you can see when I'm hovering on it, it's going up. When I'm not, it's going down. Okay, I'll change it with icon next time, but for now you can just use this. So yeah, we got it right. So we got this much at least. And I think we are on time, but we have just completed the header and not the entire part. Okay. Let's have this also. Let's create this also, and then we'll done. We'll not create this. We'll not create this. We'll just render this. Okay. Because I just need to tell you one concept. I'm just copying this entire thing. Okay. Cool. And here I'll say categories, right? I need to go to categories. Paste this array here. I'll put categories data separately. Data.js. Rename data.js array. Data.js. Okay. I put this data here and I'll export this named export. Categories. I do not need this. Okay, nice. Now I'll say a card. Okay, I need a card and I'll just loop this. Okay, I'll loop this. Okay, so I have to import this categories. So whenever you want to write JavaScript in JSX, okay, whenever you want to write any expression in JSX, you write these parentheses, curly braces. Okay, आपको एक curly braces लिखने पड़ेंगे. Remember template string? Everyone knows template strings. Guys, everyone knows template strings. Template string पता है क्या? It's basically this type of string. Okay, where you can write anything, and if you want to write JavaScript also, you can just do this. Okay, dollar curly braces. Okay, so that's how this is known as template string, where you can write your JavaScript expression within the strings. Okay, where you can write JavaScript inside the string using the syntax dollar curly braces. Similarly, whenever you want to write JavaScript expression in the JSX, you write curly braces, only curly braces, and you write JavaScript expression. So I would like to write my variable, which is categories from data.js. I got it. Data.js. Categories. I'm getting an error. Data.js. Okay. Categories. Now I want to loop it. Anyone can tell me how can I loop this? Which array method where I should use it? Guys, do you know which array method to use? Can you guys name some array methods? Guys, we'll end it in 15 minutes, so don't worry. We'll go more 15 minutes. That's it. We'll not go. नहीं कब तक जाना है हमें 10 बजे तक जाना है ना 7 to 10 था ना let's go for 15 more minutes. Okay, string banklets. Callback कोई array नहीं होता, कोई function नहीं होता. Guys, so array methods, you know array methods? What are array methods? Do you guys know array methods? Array method you should know. Okay, before coming to React, you should know array methods from JavaScript. Abdesh, you can ask in the chat whatever you want to ask. So you should know the array methods whenever you're coming to React. So array method is basic, okay, of JavaScript. Map, filter, for each, correct. So there are a lot of array methods available: map, filter, for each, find index, find, filter, reduce. So there's a lot of array methods. Here what we need to use is map function, because we want the okay, because we want the JSX in return. Okay, we want the UI element in return. So map is the only function that returns the UI elements. Okay, for each, just loop the array, find index, find the index, reduce, just give the final value. The map is the only function that returns the UI element, anything from inside an array for every individual item. Okay, for every item in an array. ये तुम्हें समझ नहीं आ रहा होगा, अगर तुम्हें जावास्क्रिप्ट नहीं आती तो okay, you must be not be able to get it if you don't know the JavaScript basic. For every individual object, I want a UI element. Okay, for every individual object, I need क्या बोलते हैं, the UI element, and the map is the only function that can do this, this thing. Okay, it can return something for every individual element from inside callback. Let me show you. So I'll write categories dot map. It takes a callback function. So it takes a callback function from us. Okay. And here I will write item. It's a first, like every individual item, and I will get the index also. Okay. And yes, so that's two things that I get from the map. There's one more thing, but we don't need it. Item comma index. Okay. Most important thing here, guys, item to लिख दिया. Okay. These are just a variable parameters. Okay. You can write anything. कुछ भी लिख सकते हो. Item की जगह I लिख दो. Okay. You can write I. Index की जगह IND, whatever. Okay. Here, this has to be a parenthesis, not the curly braces. If you're writing curly braces here, you have to write manually return. Okay. Map is arrow function is self return. So that's why I'm not writing curly braces. I'm writing parenthesis. Okay. If you write curly braces, so you have to manually return the UI. Okay. So arrow function is self return, automatically returns this part. So that's why I'm using parenthesis, not the curly braces. Now I want to return the UI from here, right? So every individual object, I can return a UI that will collect here as an array of elements. And so the output of this expression will be array of UI elements, and the array of UI elements can be rendered in JSX. So yes, that's what we can do. We can render we can show the array of UI elements. Okay? So that's why we are using map. And here what I want, I want div only. Okay. And here I'll write a class name for it. Let's call it category, individual category. Okay. Or I'll be writing box, maybe, I don't know. I'll see. Then I need an image. Image will get the src. It will have item dot image. Alt. As I said, it's a best practice to write alt. And that's also the item dot label. We need a class name to it. Let's put a class name. Categories. Category image. And we want a label. So let's have a p tag. I want item dot label. Okay, so that's how we write variable in JSX. Okay. Yeah, Vinash, there will be, of course, don't worry. Okay. Class category. Category label. Okay, so we got this. You guys can see we got the label and everything. Let's see how it is looking in categories for now. This is how it is looking now. And it's looking good for now. I want to do it in a straight line. So let me have the SX here. I'll say display flex. Okay, guys, one more thing that you do not need to learn um, material UI. Okay, you do not need to remember material UI. Okay, you just need to check the code, get the value, get the code. Okay, you do not need to learn anything in the material UI. Documentation read karo, just read the documentation and use it. It's a utility, so you do not need to know how it is being actually used. Whenever you use it, you understand it. If you're consistently using it, you will remember this. So you don't need to learn specifically concept of material UI. Material UI is just a utility. Okay, तुम consistently उसे use करोगे, you will automatically get this. Fine, guys. So we got the flex box here, and here it's looks good. Now, what do we want? We want that has to be again justify content center and align item center, so that we can get it center. Justify content space between, I would say. No, the last item will go very out, and I will say align item center. And the gap should be at least 8 pixels, not 8 pixels. Yes, 8 multiple. So they are going out automatically. Fine. I'll reduce up category ka CSS. Let me write category CSS. Category CSS dot CSS. Categories CSS. Okay. So here I'll go it right. What is it? What happened? What happened? What happened? क्या हुआ? Okay, something has changed. Guys, are you able to hear me now? Right now? Something has changed. क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ? क्या हुआ? Okay. I think TV का वो हो गया. Free up memory बोल रहे. Once again. The connection got this. Boom, boom. Decrease space between icons. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Don't worry. We still have time. थोड़ा बहुत. Push. Okay. So you want categories के अंदर category image. कोई बताएगा what do we call this selector? Can you guys tell me what do we call this selector? Guys, what do we call this selector? क्या बोलते हैं selector को? No. What do we call the selector, guys? Class selector, no. What do we call this entire selector? Or I would say combinator specifically. Categories. Jesus. Did it work? I don't think so. Oh, it worked. 100 pixel, 100 pixel. Let me reduce more. 70. 70. Again, it's going out of the window. No, it's fine now. Okay, so we can reduce a little more. Fine. Now let's go over here. Let's reduce to 50 pixels. 50 pixels. Looking perfect. Okay. Let's give it a little margin from top to the section. Class name, categories, wrapper. So this category is wrapper. I will have it here. Which will say margin top 20 pixel. And so we got the margin here. And I'll put a margin in tag also, or in this card also. Padding of 4. It's too much. I think the 2 will be nice. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. Good enough for us, right? I do not want border radius, so let's remove the border radius. Border radius. Border radius 0. Okay, nice. Good enough. We got the categories. Okay, this has to be in center. So let's give it a category. Category. Display flex. Flex direction column. Align item center. Justify content center. We got this. Cool, nice. There's a little margin we need from top to that label. So let me just have the label here. Label. Margin top. Margin top. 4 pixel. Looking perfect, right? And I want category should have a cursor pointer. I don't know, but I love cursor pointer. That's great. So we got it, right? Slowly, gradually, we are moving toward that UI. Guys, you understood this? Oh, that's known as descendant selector, not multiple class selector. That is known as descendant selector. Okay, descendant selector. Guys, do you know this? Now you got this. This much UI is good for now. I hope you understood whatever we have learned so far. Suppose whatever we have learned so far. Anything that you missed or maybe you didn't understood, like you feel कि यार नहीं समझ में आया बिल्कुल भी ऊपर से चला गया, we can still repeat it. Anything, any particular thing that you didn't understood. If you understood very well, guys, there's an error coming. If you can see here in the console, there's an error coming. Okay, always have an eye on the console that there's an error comes. Not ever comes, but whenever you use map function, there's an error comes. So each child in a list should have a unique key. So this is a very important error, and it asks in the interview as well that what is this error and how do we solve it? What's the purpose of this key? Okay, so each child in a list should have a unique key prop. Okay, so this key, what it signifies that whenever you create components, okay, whenever you create components, there's React. Okay, this React has to identify each and every component uniquely. Okay, so every component has to uniquely identify it. So React automatically can done this internally. Okay, it can automatically identify all the components, and whenever there's something change happening, it can only change that particular component, not all the components. So if you see here, let's say this is our diagram of the component, bigger component. So app, panel, list, header, list, and so on. Okay. So whenever there's a change happens, so let's say if there's a change happening in the header, okay. Change matlab state changing. Okay, if there's a state changing happening in the header, the React knows that this particular component has been changed. So React will only update this particular component and its children. Okay, and its children. So whenever there's a state update happens, or maybe there's a prop change happens, the React identifies, notified which component has been changed. But in the case of looping, okay, in the case of looping, whenever you loop in a list, map function, whenever you loop in a list, क्या बोलते हैं? So in this case, the React has to identify that the card, you have only rendered one component, right? You have rendered only one component, which is one UI element. If you see here, there was only one UI component that you render, which is div, correct? आपने तो सिर्फ एक ही element return किया है, correct? For 5 elements, for all the categories, you just gave one component. So now how the React will identify that when you're going to change in these components, in these small list items, which particular item has been changed. Okay, so now React does not know. Key, you have given me one component. Okay, I've given a separate key for it. मैंने तो इसको एक uniquely identify दे दिया, but you are using it for 10 times. How will I identify that if you're changing something in the future, a particular item of it, let's say you are deleting the 8th item. So how will I identify the 8th? Only the 8th item has been deleted. How will I identify that, right? So for that, the React asks you to give me a key, like give the React a key for every individual component, for every individual list item. So that's the purpose of giving key. So if somebody will ask you in the interview that what's the purpose of key? So the key has to be given to the mapped items to uniquely identify which component has been changed or updated in the list. Okay, is that clear to everyone? What is the purpose of key? Guys, you're getting it? What is the purpose of key? सबको समझ में आ रहा है? Key समझ में आ रहा है? Key क्यों देते हैं? हर एक mapped item को we give it because we want to know that which particular item has been deleted or maybe updated. Okay, so let's say if I update this particular item, the React will not understand which item has been changed. You have given me only one card, okay, and you're using it with different data. Okay, so the concept is basically reusability. You have reused the components. So isolated, independent, reusable component, remember? So you reuse the components, right? But now I do not know that this particular item is this or this or this or this, right? So when you update this, React will not be able to identify that, oh, is this changed or this changed? Or when you delete this, the React will say, oh, all has been updated. तो मैं सबको ही update कर देती हूँ, है ना? सबको ही update. I'll update everything. So that's not a good practice. We want React to update every component because हमने तो एक में change किया ना. Why to update every component? So that's why we give key. Okay. Let me write it here as well. Key. React. Uniquely. इसकी definition you can read it from online. Identify. Uniquely identified. Uniquely identify the change. To identify the to uniquely identify the component. Side app. Okay. It helps us to update a particular. It helps React to update particular item, list item on its state or prop change. What is prop? Prop is parameter to give into the component. Okay. Prop. Prop is data that you give to the component. Okay. Okay, so we got it. So how we give the key? So the key has to give into the top level component, which is the top level wrapper. कोई भी हो, whoever it is, whatever it is, you have to give the top level wrapper. Okay, you give the key. And it has to be unique. so it has to be unique. Right now we have indexes. So I have the index which is unique. I don't have any ID for a particular item. अगर मेरे पास ID होती for every particular item, so I would prefer ID because that makes more unique, right? I don't have the ID right now, so I have the index. Index is unique for every item, right? The first item will have 0, the second item will 1, and so on, right? So it's unique. But index is not a good practice to give every time, because when the update will happen, okay? Yeah, key is an identifier. Okay, Ritika? So the index is not a good thing to give as a key, because whenever you delete an item, okay, whenever you delete an item, the index changes, right? Or maybe when you add an item, the index changes, correct? Most, like when you delete an item, it happens that time only. When you delete, let's say, fifth item, so now the sixth item is not a sixth item anymore. It's a fifth item, right? So the index changes, correct? So it's not a unique anymore. So whenever you have a thing like तुम्हें लग रहा है कि when I can delete these items in a list, okay, I can delete an item, I can update an item, I can add a new item. Do not give index. Okay, in that case, do not give index, because index cannot be unique when you are deleting or adding, right? It changes. Fifth item delete kar diya, sixth item is not a sixth item anymore. It's fifth, correct? So now the React has to update everything. So that do not need to do. Whenever you think that, okay, it's a static list, I'll prefer index. If it's not a static list, it's a dynamic list, I will give a proper ID. Okay. Maybe a static hai, I do not have any to change. So I'm giving index. Okay, cool. So we got this here, index. And let's see if that error is coming anymore. Boom, 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 boom. And that error, let me refresh it. No, it's not coming anymore. So we got it. We solved this problem, right? So the key is very, 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 very important in terms of interview, in terms of coding, in terms of React. The key is important. I hope you guys understood this much. सबको इतना समझ में आया? Everyone understood this much? We understood a lot, right? We understood many things. We understood basic React. We understood create React app. We understood components. We understood import and export. And then we understood props. We understood state, right? And how to divide components of the UI, right? We also understood use state. So how to divide components. We also understood CSS, how to use CSS. We also understood material UI, how to involve material UI and use it, correct? So yeah, that was a session for today, guys. I have to ask Cuvette that we need one more session. I hope you guys have enjoyed the session. But let me talk to them. Okay, I think, let me just put. फोटो आना है यार. Okay, guys, I hope you liked the session. And great session. Thank you. Let me just take one screenshot. यार मैं Windows में screenshot लेना भूल जाता हूँ यार. एक तो कैसा है ये? I've used Windows, but I'm just very confused with Windows. Why is it like this? कैसे लेते हैं Windows में screenshot? Can you guys tell me? कैसे लेते हैं screenshot? How do we take screenshot? As you know, कुछ तो था control shift window print screen. Print नहीं है ना मेरे में. Control shift S. Command window shift S. Yes. Oh, nice. You got it. The Windows screenshot away. One second, one second, one second. Hmm, Windows screenshot S. And we got this. Cool. Yep. Thanks. Let me paste it somewhere. Where should I paste it? Paint. Session. Okay, that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed the session. You guys can check it out my LinkedIn also. You guys can check it out my Instagram also. Uh, I'll be putting more videos on YouTube also. There's a YouTube channel also here. I don't put now a lot of videos there, but I'll start coming up with some explanation. I've stopped doing it. GitHub bhi de raha hu. One second. The GitHub, the links will all you get in this documentation. Okay. I'll give you the GitHub also, but you will get everything on. So I'm not putting like I've not put a lot of things on YouTube. Okay. But you guys can get the YouTube also from my LinkedIn. If you want to stay update, you guys can check it out. LinkedIn specifically. I'll start putting more जब से मैं सोनी में आया हूँ, I have stopped doing this all these things because a little work. Sure, I reply every message. I reply every message whenever you do on Instagram. Mostly on Instagram, I reply all the messages. LinkedIn, by yes, there's a delay you can expect of at least one day because I right now I'm not seeking job, so I'm not opening LinkedIn anymore. Right, since the I've got the new job Sony, so I've not opened LinkedIn very often. पहले मैं बहुत डालता था जब जॉब चाहिए थी तो मैं पोस्ट भी डालता था. I used to post and all everything, but now I don't do it because I got the job. So I'll start doing this again. And yeah, so you guys can check it out this YouTube. I'll start putting YouTube also about my Sony and everyday almost coding thing. And check it out my Instagram also. You guys can follow me on Instagram. कर लो थोड़ा सा. I need a little good. अच्छा लगता है. I don't know that Instagram is not working for me anymore. I start putting reels. साला मेरे को ना आएंगे review. Fine, it's okay. I don't know. It has freezed, I guess. Git के लिए मैं अभी I'm creating your repo. Guys, you will get the everything here. Okay, on this doc. You have the doc with you. Get it. Flipkart. Flipkart. Description. Workshop. Clone. Workshop. और Cuvette. Cuvette की स्पेलिंग नहीं आ रही मेरे को. Public. Add readme. Create a repo. So I got the Flipkart. ये क्या आ गया? एक चलो ठीक कोई नहीं. Let me clone it in your repo. Control C, Control C, Control C. Git add remote origin. Git remote add origin. For all the people who don't know Git, get it. Git add. Git commit. Git status. Sorry. Git commit. MySM. Flipkart. Flipkart. Init. Push origin. Main. मेन नहीं है, मास्टर है। ओके, मास्टर। I need to pull it. Sorry, pull it. Get pull version. Master. Cannot find remote. What is it? There is no tracking branch. We are the main branch. Okay. Refusing to merge unrelated histories. क्यों भाई? Get push origin master. So, आगे ना. So every code is in master, guys. ठीक है. Master में code है, so you can get it here. So whenever you clone it, you have to cloning के step बता देता हूँ. Clone कैसे करना है? npm i. So this is the command that you will run. Okay. First command npm i. It will install all your node modules, and then you will say npm start. Okay. These are the two things that you need to run. npm i for installing all the node modules. npm start for starting the application. Okay. That's it. After cloning. Sorry. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Let me give the link here as well to you in the chat. Send in the chat box. Yes. Like easy snippet guys lol. यार वो तो like easy snippet वाला ना तो I think it's too much fun. कुछ भी लड़की की फोटो डाल देगा, कुछ भी लड़की की वीडियो डाल देगा, and then पोपट. Instagram ID is this only Utkarsh Knight, so you can check it out. What's my annual package? Just I'm thrilled to know. So I started with it's a good journey that I had. मेरी तो बहुत अच्छी journey रही है. I had like I started my internship with like 12,000 rupees, and now I can, you can say like 300%, 100%. I don't know. Like ठीक है. So when I started this journey in eClerks, I had this internship, 12,000 rupees from my college. Somehow I got this. I don't know. I know what happened. Some ठीक है. And then I got it, the full placement, the first placement that I got from the eClerks itself was 3.5 LPA. They promised 6 LPA, but the COVID was happened, so they reduced the package. It cost 3.5 LPA. So from there, I have moved in 2 years. So after that, 3 years, right? So after that, 3 years, eClerks में excel, then total 3 years of experience. So in 3 years of experience, from 3.5, I have moved out a lot. So like, कितना कैसे बताना चाहिए? So I've like I can say 30 से ज़्यादा, ऊपर से भी ज़्यादा, उससे भी ज़्यादा, ठीक है? Like it's I would say 40 plus, you can say overall. Okay. But कितना plus I will not tell you. That's great for you. What? So yeah, you can start low. Like this is like I will say, you can start low, but if you can learn properly, you can earn as much as you want in coding. That's I would say. And only React. I know only React, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. That's it. I've been working since 2 years, 3 years in React. I know React. I know other languages as well, but I work only for React. I provide only React. I know languages. I know other things as well, but I just do React professionally. So professionally, yes. a fun some yeah. ठीक है चले I think good. I am from LPU. LPU. I'm from LPU. I'm 2020 pass out. Cool. Anything else, guys, you want to know? How we will get the updated your next session? I also don't know how will I get to know about my update next session. I also don't know that. I need to talk to them. Uh, I'll talk to them. Okay. They will send you an email. They will send you an email. So thank you guys. Thank you. Recording link they will send you. Don't worry. How you'll get the recording? They will send you. The code you already have it. Anas, you already have the code, right? You already have the code, right? If they never arrange, please share your personal link. Insta will join it. Surely. See, I get money from here, so I don't know. Next session. Of course. Thank you, Shwati. Good night. Check out my LinkedIn, guys. Check out करते हैं चलो. हमारे पास क्या काम है? Good night, everyone. Sir, Instagram ID, please. Utkarsh Knight. It's Utkarsh Knight. UTKRSH NIKNIGST. Utkarsh KNIGST. Recording, you will get it on email, guys. Don't worry. Web development. Okay. Vishwakarma. Contact 360. China full stack developer. Yeah, I already have a good experience. Yeah. It's already good. It's already good. Follow otherwise. He knows a lot. Laravel, Cake PHP, coding term, and सुना भी नहीं है. What is this? These three. WordPress plugins, Joomla, Shopify, Wix, Magento, Angular. Wix is like, is it actually need to write? I don't know. Angular is React, Node, Express.js. REST API is development. Great, you have already good profile. Nice. Have you completed Stack? I have you completed. If you're talking about my knowledge, I have completed Stack on my own, but I do not teach Stack. I just teach React. I said I said React ki khatam, so I just teach React. So bye guys, bye everyone. Good night. I hope you guys have enjoyed the session. Let me just close the session recording.